Is it up?
Oh yes, it is.
Oh no! Oh, can you guys hear me? Hold on. Let me make sure. MD Chaos is coming through. I just realized if he's talking.
A message from space. A warning from Earth.
Let me go ahead and add another microphone thing here. So, let's see. By the way, welcome everyone. So for this stream, Chad's here.
Yes, I am. Hello.
Welcome, Chad.
Howdy, gamers.
Don't please. Yeah. So I'm doing a stream because I wanted to just like update you guys because I haven't made a video on the channel in a month because I'm working on a ton of stuff. But like at the same time, like you're also gonna that stuff is gonna be coming out relatively soon. But I just wanted to do like an update, say hi, give my opinions on Gundam because the last time we did a stream, I did one with Caden and Ben, and everyone was asking them their Gundam opinions. Which, fun fact about Caden and Ben, they haven't seen Gundam, so I brought Chad with me, so you can give him...
And some other guy who's not worth mentioning.
And MD Chaos, who I'm trying to get your audio on the stream. So let's see, which one, do you know which one of these I have to audio input capture?
Maybe, I don't know. I haven't done much streaming stuff.
That's fair.
Which is terrible, because I hang out with a bunch of people who do streaming stuff all the time. I should know these things. Yeah, what are you trying?
Oh, I'm trying to see if I can make like the Discord audio come through here.
Is the Discord audio coming through? Say something, MD Chaos, and if someone in the chat hears it, then it's working.
Actually, I don't mean to be awkward, but where exactly is the chat exactly?
You just need to say stuff and
yeah,
we're testing the audio right now.
Can I fucking like say that one rap from CD4?
Oh, okay. So we're getting word from Nick, who's in the other room, that MD Chaos is audible.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. So I could probably introduce MD Chaos of Twitter. I don't know. What do you think people know you for more?
Being let me think about that.
Being an absolute menace?
I was going to say gaslighting Professor Otaku.
I don't think that's exactly the greatest claim to fame considering this is Professor Otaku. This is like the equivalent of like saying, oh yeah, I'm that guy who beat up that homeless person at one point.
I don't want to start too much shit, but that's, it's funny because like, not to throw shade, but I was surprised Professor Otaku, maybe he wasn't focusing on his YouTube for a while. He's only at like 10K, which is surprising because I used to watch him in high school in like 2008. And so it's weird to see him still around, but he's not doing too much stuff, but making videos occasionally.
Yeah, I don't know who Professor Otaku is, so.
He was part of D2Brigade.net, which was a group of anime reviewers that included
Jesuo, and may or may not be associated with the Roofie Gang.
What?
Hold on. You can't drop bombs like that out of nowhere. No, he was part of the group that was like Arcada, who is still around and still makes videos. Jesu Otaku, who I changed her real name. I don't know if she changed her screen name though.
Jacob Otaku.
Is Professor Otaku good? I wouldn't recommend his videos.
I would much rather recommend watching the classic science fiction film Sayonara Jupiter over a Professor Otaku video, but that's just what I think.
Is that the fucking Matrix siblings, whatever they are?
No, that's Jupiter Ascending you're thinking
of.
Okay.
No. This one, no. Very different movie. Very different movie. For one thing, it had some people who it had the writer of the Dirty Pair novels involved with it, according to one guy I know.
Okay. So it's like a Tokusatsu movie. Or...
yeah, kinda. A space opera tokusatsu, I guess.
Now that you say that, I think someone on Zimmerit wrote an article about that, and I did not read it, but that does sound familiar.
Obviously, you wouldn't care because Shotaro Ishinomori was not involved with it.
You know what?
After all,
that's true.
Ishinowari was the creator of many things: Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, Cody Banks, and Rush Hour.
Well, it's funny because I actually was writing or basically like outlining my notes for a video on Message from Space, and I have a running joke that I don't know if it can make it.
That reminds me. Have you actually seen the TV show of Lost in Space? Not fucking Lost in Space.
Ginga Tyson, yeah. I watched the first 2 episodes and I thought it was not bad. I genuinely thought it was fun.
It's pretty good. The thing that's really funny is that it feels so much like Toei's other Tokusatsu shows at the time.
No, yeah, it feels just like the fucking Metal Hero series. Like because like
no, it feels like a Showa Kamen Rider show or anything else that had Ishinomori involved. But it's so like, but those elements clash so hard with like the space ace like adventure parts. That's actually like kind of entertaining.
The way I found that show is so weird because like I wouldn't say I found it, but my first interaction with it was I was looking for, this is like 2009, no, maybe 2008. I was looking for the first Naruto opening, and it was when specific like anime openings weren't as easy to find on YouTube. And I remember looking for Rocks by Hound Dog, and the only full version of the song that had like the full like 4-minute version was an AMV or music video someone made of Ginga Tyson to that song. And I remember not knowing what it was, but the title, I've been trying to find the video. It's like purged from the internet. The title of the video was Revenge for My Parents music video. And I remember spending years looking up Revenge for My Parents and not being able to find it. But like, because the show is Ginga Tyson, but Revenge for My Parents is like the plot. So they gave it a very like cinematic name.
Honestly, what makes that show kind of noteworthy is that it was kind of one of the first roles Hiroyuki Sanada was in, and he was in a lot of things,
like his
the Marvel movies, but most importantly, Rush Hour 3 starring Roman Polanski.
Oh yeah, Roman Polanski's in that. I totally forgot about that. Why the fuck is Roman Polanski? I guess Brett Ratner directed it.
Oh Jesus Christ! It's a pedophile meetup. They were at a pedophile convention together, and they were just like, "Let's make Rush Hour 3."
Okay, before we go on into the discussion about Cardcaptor Sakura, I would like to thank my good friend Luke Besson for the show recommendation.
Oh no, Luke Besson!
It's funny that you're turning this into the raunchiest thing I've been a part of. But someone in the chat mentioned San Kukai, which is I love that the music for that, because I found out about San Kukai because I don't know if you know Kavinsky, the musician, the electronic artist, the one who did the Nightcall song and Drive. He samples it in his album. He samples one of the.
Is that I'm probably wrong on this, but is that like is that a Tokusatsu adaptation of Journey to the West?
Yes.
This better be the one I'm thinking of. Is it the show that's also known as Monkey in like other countries?
I'm talking about San Kukai, which is Ginga Tyson.
Oh fuck. Well, I'm thinking of Monkey, which is also based on Journey to the West, but whatever.
But yeah, with San Kukai, Kavinsky samples it in one of his on his one album, and that was how I found it, because he had a bunch of like weird anime references. Like there's a song that samples the Cell theme, or Shinsuke Kikuchi's Cell theme from Dragon Ball Z. The dun dun. He has a song that samples that, which is pretty cool. But there was something else I wanted to talk about, and it isn't Agent Cody Banks. I think... Well, I don't remember what it was now. Thank you for Chemo Fujin. You're welcome for being introduced to Chemo Fujin. I did an interview with the mangaka behind that, and he's actually the same age as me and Chad, which is crazy.
Yeah, 100 years old.
He's 108 years old, which is insane. You would have thought he would have gotten noticed a little bit sooner, but you know.
Yeah, you just throw things out in the world and eventually something sticks. It just took us a long time.
Yeah, but that's the video I'm working on right now, is a Chemo Fujin video, and it's taking a while because it hasn't been translated, and so I'm getting pages translated as I write. and then also incorporating. It's going to be a video where I talk a lot about how things make me feel, which I generally hate in AniTube. I hate when people just talk about how... That's why my videos are all about like history and production, because when people start talking about how things make them feel, I just go, I don't care. I'm not you.
Nobody told me how much Evangelion was in Digimon Tamers. Said some person who's only seen Evangelion as their only exposure to Japanese science fiction and didn't watch good Japanese science fiction like Sayonara Jupiter and Message from Space.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I was writing a review. I was outlining my future review for Message from Space, and I had a joke that I don't know if it will make it to the final one, where I just keep because the lead American actor is Vic Morrow, who is...
You were going to snake in a John Landis joke.
Yes, that was going to be it. I was going to keep bringing up, like...
I knew exactly, the moment you were, even before you said his full name, the moment you said the very
yeah,
first...
I was going to just do it, and then the main characters run away. Kind of like how John Landis ran away from those murder charges.
And how Max Landis
the lead,
ran
Chad,
away from a lot of other
yes,
things.
the lead actor is the guy that John Landis killed on the Twilight Zone set.
Yeah, I never would forget his name.
And so I just keep making references to John Landis.
You know, the funny thing is, Vic Morrow's Message from Space is not the only film, the only Kinji Fukusatsu movie that Vic Morrow is in.
He's in the Green Slime, right?
I haven't seen that, actually, but there's another...
Green Slime has a great theme song. That's the only thing I know about the Green Slime.
My only context for the Green Slime is that Toei produced it and Brandon Tennell did a video on it.
Yeah, I just wrote an article for Zemerit about the production of Kamen Rider, and Ekisu, I think it's called Ekisu Productions, who did the monster designs, or not the designs, but they made the costumes. They made all the sets and everything for the Green Slime, and that's why Shocker's great leader is just the one eyeball guy, because of the one eyeball monsters in the Green Slime.
Yeah. Wait. Okay. The film I was thinking of doesn't have Vic Morrow in it, but also has but does have plenty of B-list actors in it. It's a film called Virus from 1980. That film is great, by the way. Like, one of the best films to come out of Japan. It has a really interesting cast behind it. Like, it has Sonny Chiba, George Kennedy, Robert Fawn, and even Edward James Olmos is in, I think.
Oh, hey, Edward James Olmos, fellow LA Mexican man. Put him in everything.
Did Bill Finger write the Green Slime?
I know a Bill who also fingered.
Oh, no.
2 of them.
Well, if anyone wants to know our Gundam opinions, you can put those in the chat. I have been trolled, or not trolled, but people have been furious because, and I've made peace with this. I know that no one agrees with me. I didn't like Hathaway.
Yeah, I liked Hathaway a lot, so it's okay. We even each other out.
I thought, here's the thing about Hathaway. The first movie is great. I can't wait till the other 2 parts come out.
Well,
yeah.
And I think I kind of knew where I was getting myself into. I haven't read the novels. I'd love to, though. But I thought the movie was fucking fantastic.
Well, I thought that the movie felt like one of those prologues they put at the beginning of Star Wars that is supposed to set up the rest of the movie. And I was like, oh, that's all you're giving us? Okay.
I mean, to be fair, there will be doing the other 2
But when you sit down for a movie, you sit down for the experience. I don't sit down to original Star Wars and just want to see the opening crawl basically happening.
Yeah, you just want to get to Jar Jar at the very moment.
I just want to get to Jar Jar. I was watching The Phantom Menace today.
Why were you watching The Phantom Menace?
I turned it off because it wasn't very good, because I saw Rocco from Mega 64 say like, yeah, it's not as bad as people say it is, and I was like, I kind of want to see it because I hadn't seen it since I was like...
Cool. So I'll defend The Phantom Menace a little bit.
That's like the exact same energy as like when Breno Floss said Mega Man 7 sucked.
I was gonna say, what is it? That's like the only Star Wars movie outside the originals that is like making any sort of attempt to do designs of anything. Like everything else just reuses like stormtroopers.
You ever just think about the part where like E.T. show up, and when I saw that, I
that's
nearly
in Revenge of the Sith.
That's in Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, he's
E.T.
voted for Emperor and is the reason the Jedi died.
Mac and Me is better than E.T.
Well, that's fair. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Mech and Me is one of the funniest movies ever. I guess that does make it better than E.T.
The dolphin scene from Sayonara Jupiter is to me what the wheelchair scene from Mac and Me is to Paul Rudd.
Someone asked, G Gundam and Gundam Wing were my interest to Gundam. That was like everyone's intro to Gundam.
Because they came out here. I honestly feel like I kind of wish that
my introduction
Gundam X
to
was the introduction, because I feel like those two aren't great.
Because I feel like that's a huge barrier to get people into Universal Century now.
Yeah.
Is they have this weird connotation of what Gundam is.
John, I don't mean to interrupt, but are you gonna read like the questions or something, or have to look for myself?
I'll read them off for you. I'm sorry, I got chat right here. Can you not see the chat?
I don't see. I'm not in there.
Oh, you can pull it up and mute the video.
I'm an idiot. Oh wait, I am there. What the fuck?
There you go.
Anyways, my introduction to Gundam was the 1988 Starship Troopers OVA.
Interesting. Should have been Doozy Bots. It should have been Doozy Bots.
Yeah, should have been Doozy Bots. If we got introduced with Doozy Bots, it'd be a much better world.
Tomino would have a lot more money.
Yeah.
He'd have already made 10 G-Reco movies.
Oh, great.
Yeah. But anyways, my introduction to Gundam was the 1988 Starship Troopers OVA.
How did you get a hold of that?
I downloaded it.
Ooh,
Okay, serious answer though. My first Gundam show, this is a bit weird in hindsight, but I don't regret it. Is G Gundam and 0079.
Well, yeah, that's
kind of like everybody's.
Yeah.
Those were two firsts for me too. So
because that was first one I saw was Gundam Wing when it was playing on Toonami, and I was like, I watched a couple episodes and I was like, I can't get into this, and it wasn't until Chad and I moved in together, and our friend Greg was a huge fan of Universal Century Gundam, so we decided, like, because he loves it so much, let's try it, and we watched 0079 together, and then we just started watching a Gundam in production order from there. Because 0079 is great.
Yeah, I was like, okay, let's see how this aged. And in the first minute, I'm like, I'm in. I mean,
it's pretty good, but it's not fucking Ultraman Jonius good.
I don't even know what that is.
It's the Ultraman anime, but Sunrise anime at the same time as 079. That show's actually like legit really solid.
The Ultraman. Okay, I didn't know it was called Jonius.
That's his name.
Okay.
It makes it easier to distinct shit from the other ones.
I bought that DVD they put out, and then the subtitles were janky, and I was like, how the fuck?
That release. Okay, here's the thing though. I will somewhat defend Mill Creek, but not for the reasons people think it is. That release is shit, but not because of the subtitles. It's because the quality looks like ass.
It looked that too, yeah. I mean, the subtitles are weird, and then the video quality looks really shitty, and it's like, what the hell is this?
A lot of people like really give them a lot of shit for the Gridman and subs, and I'm like, they're passable.
If you're paying for something, it needs, like, when a fan sub is passable, I'm fine, because like, I didn't pay anything, I got it for free, so yeah, I guess that'll do. But like, if I'm paying for something, like, they could have literally just gone to someone and paid, literally, the industry rates are at an all-time low for fans for subbing. And what is Gridman? Is Gridman 24 episodes?
39.
39? That's
here's the thing, though. Mill Creek like releases are basically bargain bit and releases and what they're aiming for.
They are, but like, I feel like their Ultraman Steelbooks and like the Blu-rays they were putting out are like good enough that they need to invest some of that money back into the business, because I know that those subs are by Subaraya. So, like, they're not shilling out any money to get those subtitled.
The release of the fucking 1986 movie Rad is better than any of their Ultraman releases for the past year or so. And Brad is Tokusatsu, by the way. Thunder in Your Heart is one of my favorite Hironobu Kageyama songs.
Well, so everything I've seen on the Blu-rays, because I have all of them, but I haven't watched through all of them. Are there any like major issues with those? Because like I have at least up to Taro, I think, and the subs seem fine.
The only one I watched of the Steelbook that wait, that's a lie. The only two I watched of the Steelbook ones are Ultra Q, which those were pretty solid, and Ultraman Ace, which was pretty solid too. Not too bad.
Yeah, so like Tsuburaya subtitles are good, and so I understand that Tsuburaya didn't give them subtitles for, you know, like Gridman and shit, or the subtitles they gave them were like broken English. But like, yeah, just shill out the money. Like, I'm literally paying someone to sub Mass Ninja Akakage. If John can do it from his bedroom, an actual company can put up the money.
Yeah, but John, we all know you just want to become the next Senpote Sans when it comes to Red Mask, the anime.
Who?
Exactly.
Sometimes when you say names, I don't know if you're referencing someone from the internet,
Or you're just making shit up.
or if you're making shit
Senpote
up.
Sans was a real guy. He basically he made like a few Ultraman movies featuring this thing called Hanuman, and he actually
Wait, is that the guy like super like Chayo?
Yes.
Okay, I know about Chayo. Yeah.
Responsible for such classic cinema like Space Warriors 2000s, starring a bunch of Japanese stuntmen whose names we could not read.
Yeah, no, okay, so that story is actually kind of funny, where he like stole Eiji Tsuburaya's stamp of approval that had his like signature on it in Japan and stamped a bunch of documents saying I own Ultraman.
The thing that I love about Tsuburaya is how super fucking lenient they are. Like, here's the thing about them. Okay, you can literally put Ultraman in your fan film or whatever, but don't you fucking say, but if you fucking say that you own it, we're gonna sue your asses.
Cracking open a cold one. I hear.
Yeah, and his document is great because not only does it has a bunch of misspellings too, but they're like, it has the stamp. Ugh. When we talk about Gridman, we're talking about the live action. We're talking about the Toku. The anime is put out by Funimation, and I've heard that the subs are fine.
I'm sure they're fine.
That Blu-ray right
but why
now.
would you? But here's the thing, though. Why would you pay more for a worse show and pay less for a better show with worse subs? Seems like a win-win for me.
No, they honestly and it was funny because I remember when the Gridman Blu-ray dropped and it was like $30 and people were like hyping it up, and then like a week later after people reported on the subs, the price was just dropping of that Blu-ray set because everyone was returning it.
Yeah, like for the record, like Gridman for like $20, the original, and with the Blu release, pretty good deal. I mean, the subs are at least are average, but I'll take what I can get. It's certainly much more worth it than the Gridman anime, which is like fucking like $70 of a 13 episode long show that really doesn't have a whole lot of rewatch value. And I'm like, nah. You can literally get the fucking
my version
entirety
for like $15 maybe. I remember it being pretty low for Gridman anime, so.
You must be very lucky then. But again, I'm just looking at the internet, so what do I know?
Yeah, no, I always, the best way to buy anything anime is just be like, okay, this is what I want, and then like wait, like just sit on it for a month, and then it'll usually be like super cheap. Like buying stuff willy-nilly, you're gonna be wasting a ton of money, so. That's my little tip for you guys.
Guy who just joined, we're talking about we said we'd talk about Gundam and we're talking about Tokusatsu releases.
Yeah.
I mean, you're saying that
I don't know very much about Tokusatsu, so
the subs are odd on Gridman. Yeah, they're fucking weird. And
this guy knows. This guy right here, Dinosaur, is way better. This guy knows what's up. Yeah, original Gridman rocks. Whoever said that, I'm gonna come to your house and like drop a space colony in your house right now. No, I'm just kidding.
You better not be in Australia.
Yeah, people in Australia, here's a letter for you. Watch out.
But yeah, we were talking about.
Don't come to school tomorrow,
don't
Australia.
Yeah, we were talking about classic Gundam anime like Kanazuki no Miko.
Dude, I think I told you the story where I rented that from Netflix, and because I thought I could jerk off to it, and I just want to preface, I was 14, by the way, but like I rented it for that reason, and it was super boring, and I hated it.
Here's my take. Kanazuki no Miko, is better than Gurren Lagann because it's shorter. And has lesbians, so that's also a plus.
That's why I rented it, and it barely had that until like it gets into a dark territory that I won't.
Said it had something to do with flutes. I'll say that much for those who haven't seen it.
Yeah, no. It reminded me a lot of a newer show called Citrus. It's like that, but there's
Citrus.
Yes, it had that
kind of citrus. Is it fruit or whatever?
Anyway,
I'm just thinking of all the times where you'd watch the worst show I've ever seen, and then I would walk in, and it'd be the worst thing ever, and then it'd be like 2 days later I walk in, you're still watching that show.
That happened with Citrus, and it's funny because it happened with Southern Cross too.
Yeah.
Because you thought I was watching the same episode on loop because every episode of Southern Cross is the same setting.
I know one guy who's a huge Southern Cross fan.
Or did you say you're a big Southern Cross fan?
No, I know one guy who's a Southern Cross fan. I think Southern Cross is fine. I mean, the worst thing I can say about it is that it's just forgettable.
It's boring. That's my big issue.
I've seen way more boring stuff than Southern Cross, to be honest.
It's not that hard to find more boring things. I thought you were like doing some sort of review and watching episodes over and over. Because I was
doing a review.
Yeah, but I was like, it just feels like we're in the same spot as last time.
Yeah, someone said, why is every episode... someone in my Discord messaged me and they said, I'm trying to watch Southern Cross, but they just keep going to that quarry that Goku and Vegeta fought in.
What if, like, John just did a video titled Southern Cross, how a boring anime changed the world forever, like how Bennett fucking did title that one fucking Genma Tyson video?
Oh my... That's frustrating. It's frustrating because it's like he doesn't. It's weird that he thinks Rintaro sucks because he watched the.
Rintaro is like better than most fucking anime directors that the West jerks off to so much.
Yeah, I feel like Rintaro. If you want, like, you can give him at least everything he makes looks fucking cool as hell. I feel like that's like the bare minimum. Like he's like talking about that. That video bugged me because he's like talking about how much he hates it, and then it has videos on screen of stuff that looks cool as hell.
Well, like he didn't mention the fucking Kaneda dragon.
Yeah.
It's like that's like an iconic scene that inspired like a bunch of things in anime, and then like he's like, and it was directed by Rintaro, so of course it was boring. It's like what? It's like. I always say, like, I'm not a fan of David Lynch, but I understand that he's, like, a well-regarded director, and he has, like, he's an auteur, basically. Yeah. But so if I were to talk about David Lynch stuff, I would at least preface it with, I'm not a big fan, but I understand he has a style, and that it appeals to a lot of people. Because, like, when you're reviewing something like that, that's by an auteur, you kind of need to give them that respect, even if you're not a fan of their work. That's how I feel. And so for him to just be like, ugh, Rintaro, it's like, what?
Yeah, that's always been weird, because it's just look at it. It looks cool. Like everything, even that Final Fantasy OVA he did. It's just like Nadia ripoff or whatever, but it looks cool.
Or like he talks about how like
the very minimum.
He talks about how the Galaxy Express 3.9 movie, and he's like, ugh, and that was so and you know how I feel about that one, and it's like. That was the second highest grossing movie of that year, only behind Castle of Cagliostro.
You know how I feel about that one. No, Benny, get in the car now.
What is your favorite and least favorite David Lynch film?
I don't think he's watched any.
I watched Twin Peaks. Is why I don't like David Lynch.
No, John. Your favorite David Lynch film is Underdog, starring Jason Lee. God.
You keep mentioning things I totally forgot. Like I forgot about Agent Cody Banks.
Yeah, I just want to throw this out to everyone that before we started this call, I was talking with MD Chaos here, and we had a bizarre moment where a friend of Chad's from high school that he went to high school with IRL was making videos, and MD Chaos was like, "Oh yeah, I've watched those videos. They used to go by this name," and we're like, "What the fuck?" It's like,
what a small world.
Yeah.
There's a reason why the red mask-esque moment was here.
Yeah, it is so strange what the people I've met on the internet in like the 2010. like the kind
Shout
of
out
people
to the
I
guy
ran
who
into.
said Miyazaki brain. Look, I'm gonna be real here. I've seen a lot of old anime, but I've never once in my life seen or touched a single thing from Studio Ghibli or Miyazaki.
His
I'm
Lupin
not
stuff
saying
is
that to be
good.
contrarian, by the way. I just haven't.
Well, I was gonna say his Lupin stuff is good, and I remember I went into it thinking I was gonna be the guy who goes, no, Masaaki Osumi is like the way to go, because I know a lot of people that I like always said that those early episodes were the best ones. Like Shoji Kawamori and Ichiro Itano always talked about how the first 7 episodes by Masaaki Osumi were the best ones, and they didn't like when Miyazaki took over because he made it more lighthearted.
Yeah,
But
Miyazaki
honestly,
and Isao Takahata, they both took over. I feel
Yeah.
like everyone just gives the credit to Miyazaki because he made Kaggle.
It
The funny
is-
thing is,
it is both of them. But yeah, honestly, his episodes are, and he does make Lupin a little too endearing sometimes. He does make it a little too like I don't like that Lupin is always like willing to throw away the score. He'll just like
Yeah.
throw away money. Like he's never like, oh no, my score. He's always like laughing as the money blows away. He's like laughing and smiling. I
Yeah.
feel like I would like to see him at least be like, no, the money.
Yeah, I could get that.
The thing is of like Miyazaki movies that the ones that I'm interested in are the ones that no one gives a fuck about, which is basically Nausicaa and Castle in the Sky.
Oh, Nausicaa is like one of his biggest things. Yeah,
I meant
Nausicaa's
in
great.
the West. I should have
If you
clarified
want like
that more.
serious Miyazaki, Nausicaa and Princess Mononoke is where it's at.
The only reason I would watch Nausicaa is because I'm a huge Panzer Dragoon fan, and that.
Oh yeah, no,
movie is one of the
Panzer Dragoon
inspirations,
just
I
takes a
think.
bunch of stuff from. But no, Nausicaa. I would recommend Miyazaki movies. Some of them could be a little sappy, but
Oh yeah, and I watched Future Boy Conan last year, and that was really good.
yeah, his stuff is just he's
Future
just
boy
generally
Conan
good.
O'Brien got it.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff he works on, he storyboards everything, so it's very consistently him. That's probably why a lot of people like. It's very obviously him working on everything. So, and he does a really good job. Sometimes he could be a little sappy, is like my criticism. But Nausicaa and Prince Mononoke aren't that way.
Someone put Porco Rosso Sweep in the chat, and I always say that Porco Rosso is the best Studio Ghibli movie that has someone turning into a pig.
Oh, yeah,
How to troll a Spirited Away fan.
Spirited Away's fine. I just think that people are like, oh, that's my favorite one. 'cause
I
it's
just
fun.
wanna
I do
say
think it gets
this.
overblown in the West because
John,
it was
let
the
me
first one to
speak
come
this.
over.
Yeah.
Okay, let me say this: Eight Crazy Nights is better than Spirited Away.
No. I can't say that. I don't know if there's a. I wouldn't agree with that. I'm sorry.
Did you watch Conan with the new dub? I watched the first 8 episodes subbed, and then they announced that a dub was coming out, and I was unsure if I should continue. So I jumped. I actually did put watching it on pause, and I watched the dub for a couple episodes, and I thought it was pretty good. It has a Canadian cast, which I actually usually prefer the Canadians they get for anime.
Yeah, because 9 times out of 10, Scott McNeil will show up and do his cool thing.
Yeah, he'll go Wolverine on it.
Yeah. He'll go Proto Man on it.
But yeah, I really like the cast. It has people from like the original Gundam dub. Like I think the guy that played Giran Zabi in the 0079 dub is in it. He's really good.
Something I forget about regarding the original Gundam dub is that Leonore Zahn, from the X-Men, was in that dub.
Yeah. She was Hamon. Or Hamon.
Hamon or whatever.
Hamon or whatever.
Ramba Rawl's main squeeze.
Yeah, the other Hamon. Yeah. She was like a senator in Canada or some shit. She was some sort of politician, and there was a scandal where there was like nudes or something. Because I remember looking at her Wikipedia page like 10 years ago when I was really into X-Men.
Oh, and she was also in the Rare dub.
Oh.
Wait, was the I know that the original like the pilot they did for Fox Kids was Canadian. Was the finalized dub Canadian?
No, they got
I thought
it was the LA voice talent.
I was gonna say they went to LA for the
yeah, you can definitely tell because you hear Wendy Lee's voice in it.
Yeah, she's Umi, I think.
Yeah, Hikaru, Umi, and Fu basically had the same ring as Sora, Donald, and Goofy, to be honest.
LA dubs are weird for me because everybody in LA just sounds like every female voice actor in LA sounds like my mom to me. Because my mom is a woman from LA.
That's what I'm always doing when I'm watching. I'm just like, oh, it's Chad's mom.
Yeah, it's Chad's mom's on there. She's doing all the voices. God damn it.
Yeah, so the person that asked, yes, Conan was released with an English dub, and it's pretty decent. I recommend it.
Brad Swell's not in it.
How do you feel about Phantom Ghost Ship getting a dub, whatever it's called? I haven't seen that movie.
Yeah, they have Mona Marshall in that.
Yeah, that's good. I fucking
Transor's little boy.
From Transor Z to the Flying Phantom Ship. That's gonna be cool.
Mona Marshall, voice of
South
Kite
Park.
Mona Marshall, voice of Kite from Dot Hack,
Yes.
Coco from Apocalypse Zero, and Kyle's mom from South Park.
No, Mona Marshall has one of my favorite kid voices, so.
Same.
Yeah, the Chad's mom, the anime. No, it's just any.
Didn't you say Lisa Ortiz, or is that just because she's Hispanic?
Oh, Lisa Ortiz kind of sounds like my mom too. Yeah.
I think one of my favorite
Anyone
who's
a Hispanic voice actor just sounds like my mom. Like the one lady who replaced Dexter, I feel like it sounds like my mom doing a
Chad
Dexter.
Daniels would literally just say, "Yeah, Amy Rose sounds like my mom."
Oh yeah, Amy Rose sounds like my mom. Yeah. Oh no.
You know, speaking of like kid voice actors, this relates to Gundam. One I really like is Brienne Sedal, because whenever I hear her voice, I'm like, oh, that's Jim from Outlaw Star.
Who?
Brienne Sedal. She voiced Jim Hawkins.
Robert
from Outlaw
Zadar?
Star.
Robert Zadar.
No, Brienne
He's my
Sedal.
favorite voice actor is Robert Zadar.
No, it's Brienne Sedal. She voiced Al in the Double 80 dub.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Cindy Milo kind of sounds like my aunt, honestly. But, like, my whole extended family, all the voice actors just sound like someone in my extended family. Any Hispanic voice actor, for some reason, I'm like, oh my god, it just sounds like my mom or my aunt.
So women in general sound like Chad's mom.
Oh, no. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, Chad, what voice actress doesn't sound like your mom? The white ones.
The white ones, yeah, the white ones. They don't sound like my mom.
Waiting for the moment where Chad says, "Yeah, Buba Lingsley sounds like my dad."
No, I don't think there's any people who Mel Gibson. My dad kind of sounds like Mel Gibson a little bit.
I've never heard your dad's voice, so
Well,
I can't.
You know,
He's
you
got
ever
that
just
like
think
crazy guy voice.
He's got that crazy guy.
There's something I just remembered.
That recording of Mel Gibson screaming about at his wife, that was actually Chad's dad.
Yeah, no, he framed him.
You ever just think about how like Buba Lingsley, one of his debuted acting roles was in the 1980s remake of The Blob.
Who?
Buba Lingsley, you know, Jet Black's English voice actor.
Oh yeah, no, he's
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's in the Hannah Montana movie. He's the mayor of whatever city she goes to, and it's just he's like, hey, and I was like, what the fuck, Jet Black? My sister liked Hannah Montana. I did watch it. I swear, it was free.
I love how quickly that excuse came out. By the way, it was my sister. My sister was watching.
No, it's for comedians.
Okay, John.
I love Hannah Montana.
I do too.
Okay, but John, how does this relate to the fact that Billy Ray Cyrus was in a Scooby-Doo movie?
Was he?
No, for sure. Everybody's been in a Scooby-Doo movie at least once.
Oh, like an animated one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Kiss has been there. Tim Curry
Somewhere
like 16
out there,
times.
the 2002 Scooby-Doo movie was somebody's moment.
Crispin Freeman hasn't been in anime in a while. I feel like he's come back to like reprise roles, but he's not really taking.
I met Crispin Freeman actually.
How was he? How tall was he?
I couldn't say. I did. It's kind of an awkward.
Couldn't say.
He was indeterminate height.
You were blindfolded.
No, I said, "Hey, Crispin, you want to talk for a bit?" He said, "Sure. I'll be there in an hour." And when I came back, he was gone.
He forgot. You got
Big
stood up
Albedo
by
moment,
Crispy.
you know what I mean?
His old anime panels are super interesting because I will say this, he tends to people act like, oh, he's like a hardcore fan, and it really is just that, like, of the voice actors, he definitely knew more about anime than them, because like when they would ask him like, what are some anime you'd like to see licensed, he could actually name shows that hadn't been licensed yet, and like other voice actors clearly didn't know shit about anime. They were just kind of like there.
We're
Like,
just actors.
Yeah, exactly. Crispin like has like genuine like passion for like the things he's into, which is really interesting.
Yeah, just like me, I'm just pretending to like everything. I'm just an actor. I'm sorry, you guys.
Chad, do you
Can
want?
you imagine if Crispin Freeman voiced a Red Mask?
Dude, if when I finally finalize these rights to Mass Ninja Akakage, I'm gonna try to get him for the lead role.
No, I am Red Mask, bitch.
Oh shit!
Oh,
You can't
fuck.
own me.
I like how they call him.
And we can just cast my mom as all the female voices.
Yeah.
And just credit the real actors and just
with
sound the same.
MD Chaos as Akakage, Chad's mom as Aokage.
You know, the funny thing is, though, I actually have not seen the Giant Robo OVA in a very long time, but I do plan to, which is fitting because that OVA is like it turned like 30 years old this year.
This sounds
It's
about
also
right.
funny because it's also is a Giant Robo's 55th anniversary or something.
That is very based. I'm just reading a comment.
What? In Xenosaga, yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, the Giant Robo OVA is awesome. That's
Yeah.
It narrowly missed out on being in my 3x3, but it is very good.
I wish there was
3x3s
more.
can't
but...
relate. 3x3s, I can't relate to that. I like way more than just 9 anime.
I do too. I just try to squeeze the top 9 in there.
I had a I only
Yeah, we
ever
all know it's
watched
just gonna.
4 anime,
Yeah,
so.
we know you're just gonna find several ways to fit in Marmaduke and the Spice World in there. But let me tell you this though. You know what's a really great Giant Robo anime that isn't the Imagawa one? GR Giant Robo.
I saw that was getting subbed, and I was following it. I know it's written by the Serial Experiments Lane guy, and
Yeah, it's great. There was a shit ton of Lovecraft shit in it. It's great.
That's what I heard. I'm kind of interested because I know Inca Subs was doing it, and I have at least the first episode downloaded.
It's a really interesting take on Giant Robo because there's plenty of like Lovecraft shit in it. It's not flat out told to you, but if you know your Lovecraft stuff, it's pretty rewarding that way. It also manages to do some commentary on like news media and like terrorism and shit like that. It's very much this is a very anti-tuber thing to say, a very post 9/11 kind of anime.
Well, that's like every anituber when they review an anime has to talk about how it is it's a commentary on capitalism. Everything is like every piece of media ever made is a commentary on capitalism.
Marmaduke is a commentary on capitalism.
It was.
Yeah, did you not watch?
Yeah.
Were you not there? Did you not see in the theater?
No,
Were you not present?
It's funny because I was talking to someone about the Flying Phantom ship, and I know it genuinely, unlike most mecha anime, this one actually Masaki Tsuji intentionally.
Can I just say this? Okay, I just want to say this. You know, we all know how overused the meme of, unlike most mech anime, this one's about the characters. I got a better one because this one's actually true. Unlike most kaiju movies, this one's about the characters.
What did you say they were making?
Unlike,
Imagawa is
unlike
a taxi
most
driver.
Yeah, and then the guy made Guyford the dentist.
The Guyver is better than Shin Godzilla, and is still gonna be better than Shin Kamen Rider, by the way, the fake one.
The fake.
Oh yeah, because there's Shin Kamen Rider from the 90s.
Yeah, I know.
Which is so confusing.
He is true Kamen Rider.
Yeah,
this is fake one.
Double shinned. All shinned out.
Yeah, I just want to say this about like Shin Kamen Rider. I know we're supposed to talk about it, but I just want to say that it's like Shin Kamen Rider, Anno's movie. It's looking a bit better than I thought it would be, but I honestly generally don't think it's going to be very good at all.
Yeah, but you're like a not a big fan of, as John's not a fan of David Lynch. You are not a fan of Anno.
I have a very complicated relationship with Anno, much like how John has with his girlfriends. I'm just kidding.
You seem to know more than you may realize.
I do like Anno, for the record. It's just that I think a lot of people don't really get what kind of person he is. And I think the thing is, though, with like Anno, is that I generally don't think he's a good fit for Kamen Rider. Ultraman, I get why, because if you see Evangelion, you can see a lot of Ultraman in his energy.
Yes.
Kamen Rider, though, Kamen Rider and a lot of Ishinomori series are very much a human kind of tale, and Anno really does not have what it kind of takes to do something like that, at least in a way that would keep the spirit of Ishinomori. The thing is, though, if he was doing his own thing with Rider, like an original show, I think that would be much better, but he's not doing that. I also just don't think it just looks that interesting of a take on the original writer, which isn't even that special because you already had the next and the first and Shin, the real one.
Thank you for the super chat. Have I seen Kaiketsu Zoroi? I'm not familiar with that. Do you mean Kaiketsu Zoro? Because I know that's an anime.
I thought he was talking. I thought you were gonna say
Kaiketsu Zubat.
Kaiketsu Zubat.
Yeah, Kaiketsu Zubat's great.
Kaiketsu Zubat's great. That's my probably.
I do the Kaiketsu Zubat hat tip in real life.
Me too, and I constantly tell people that they're only number 2 compared to me. Yeah. But no, Kaiketsu Zubat is my favorite. I will honestly say it's my favorite Showa era tokusatsu.
Let me tell you mine though.
Go
Redman.
Gridman, you son of a bitch.
No, it's Redman.
Oh, Redman. Okay, I thought you were saying Gridman, and I was like, you son of a bitch, you know that is not Showa era. But no,
of course,
Redman makes sense.
Actually, my favorite Showa era Toku is probably. Let me think about that one. That's a really tough question. Fuck it, Kamen Rider Black. Let's go with that.
Okay.
Is that still Showa era?
Barely.
Oh, barely.
No, Black RX was like the very tail end of the Showa era.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Now, if you just narrowed it to like the 70s, it would be a little more easier because I would just say Return of Ultraman.
That's fair. Let's see. What else is going on in the chat? Let's see.
My favorite Anno story is how you would wake up early to watch.
A guy asked me, is asking me, will I still watch Shin Kamen Rider? I'm not gonna vote. Yeah, of course I will.
That's hilarious. Because that's the season that was Power Rangers Ninja Storm. Yeah. So that would have been like he's pretty old at that point.
Jason David Frank is the 5th Dom Brothers. That's the new Sentai show that's airing. They should put Jason David Frank and Shin Kamen Rider.
That would be fucking awesome. Okay. I was gonna make a I actually wanted to make like a bingo card for Shin Kamen Rider, and one of them was gonna be, because it hasn't been confirmed yet, as far as I know, Hiroshi Fujioka cameo, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they'd have to be.
You mean El Kaiketsu Kabong?
You know what's something I do find kind of funny? Imagine if Arnold, instead of just doing Shinkari, just does Shin and Skullman.
That would be awesome. I'd love to see him do something with Skullman. The problem I have with Skullman, though, is that like the Shimamoto one is too much like Kamen Rider, but I think that might be what Ishinomori wanted from him. Shimamoto's art is fucking awesome, though. He does a great job of like capturing Ishinomori's style while also being like.
That's the '90s manga, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I've not read it. Is it actually scanlated?
They've released it.
Yeah, it's scanlated, but it's out of print. It's hard to find.
Oh yeah, I have a couple of volumes. Just stop by.
Yeah, it follows the path of original Kamen Rider, which I wish they had done something more original with it.
Yeah, and even then, I don't really think like a Kamen Rider type narrative really fits what Skullman originally is. I mean, Skullman's clearly not a good guy.
Yeah, no.
He's the greatest guy, is what I'm saying. That was terrible, but that's still less terrible than some of the writings going to be in Shin Kamen Rider. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'm interested in Shin Kamen Rider.
I am too. I'm interested. I like the trailer. I would like to see like, because I know he has like the first couple kaijins, like Spider-Man, Batman, and Wasp Woman are in it. I'm curious to see if he tackles any of like the generals, you know, like Colonel Zal, Dr. Shinigami. I would like to see like
Beast Man.
I would like to see like one of those. I figured like you'd put one of those, or I don't know, maybe the end will be Shocker Rider, and then it's
Shocker's going to say the N-word in the movie.
Yeah, Hayato will say the N-word towards the end.
Which,
finally,
by the way, don't trust.
We waited since 1971 for this.
Let me think of the things I think look good about Shin Kamen Rider. It looks well shot, but this is Anno, so that's like nothing that particularly new.
Yeah, it's
like one thing that Anno is a genius, how he films his stuff and the technicals about it. That's basically as far as it goes.
Yeah, well, he gets away with a lot of stuff that other people can't in anime. Like the still shots, like like the still shots in Evangelion look good. They're composed very well. Like if you imagine those scenes as like the elevator scene in Evangelion, if you imagine that as a film, that's like a really tense scene.
Yeah, he's always been good at composing stuff or like using space very well.
In my opinion, I think honestly, Anno's biggest talent, besides like how he films stuff, is really him as an animator. But he's definitely not into that anymore for understandable reasons.
Every animator who's good winds up quitting, and it's kind of a shame.
Yeah, it's Brad Bird doing any animation anymore. No, yeah, it is a shame that animator. I guess it's just not that great of like a long term.
Yeah.
It's probably just exhausting.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, drawing a single picture is fucking exhausting as a person who draws pictures all the time.
Yeah, we have Chad to thank for our beautiful thumbnail.
Yeah, I didn't really do very much.
According to Nick, you just drew your head over a picture of Gilgamesh from Fate.
Oh, it was for the Ben and Kim show.
Gilgamesh is
and that never showed up in the actual video, so I
reminder that Gilgamesh from Fate is basically Bill S. Preston if he went to the dark side. And Kira is Ted Theodore Logan.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, but I love it.
That just reminds me about how I brought this up to Kieran the other day that the guy that played Abraham Lincoln in Bill and Ted wrote the script for the Gundam movie dub.
Oh really?
Yeah, Robert Barron.
Seriously?
Yeah, he also wrote on like Macron 1.
That's wild.
Yeah, I'm glad Abraham Lincoln is getting work after he's not in enough movies, and he got replaced by freaking.
I've seen Macron 1. It's awful.
I haven't seen the version that has the Michael Jackson music in it.
I've seen an episode that used fucking Tears for Fears, Everyone Wants to Rule the World. and whenever I hear that song, I immediately associate with the scene that was used in Macron 1.
Chad, do you know what Macron 1 is?
No, I don't.
It was a Saban edited anime where they took Go Shogun footage and mixed it with, was it Sarungal?
Sarungal, yes.
They mixed Go Shogun and Sarungal.
I've seen Go Shogun and Sarungal. Go Shogun is really good. Sarungal was interesting, but I watched it raw for the record, so I don't have a completely formed opinion of it yet.
I did too, because I was kind of horny, and I like the character. There's a character called Sexy, and I think she lives up to her namesake. So I watched the first episode. I watched the first episode Italian dubbed because I could understand a little bit of Italian.
Yeah, we know you got that from Cannibal Holocaust.
No, I got it from The Sopranos.
Yeah, Kai and Makuve for the English dub of Gundam are both in Uevo's Postal. Yeah, because he does a lot of stuff in Canada.
Yeah,
he has a Canadian restaurant now that's apparently really good. So he should have just been making food all this time instead of shitty movies.
Falcon, when watching Sopranos, are like, "Wow, The Sopranos is so cool. I wish Italians were real."
What was I saying? But yeah, with Macron 1, they combined footage from those two, and they threw in a bunch of like licensed music. So, but the version I found was one that had the licensed music removed.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
That reminds me of like I think like there was like a video of like the newly elected French Prime Minister. His name's Macron. There's like a video with the Macron 1 theme playing with footage over him. I don't know shit about French politics, but to be fair, it's probably just as much as fiction as the Universal Century.
Does anyone have... So, man, we should have gotten more Gundam... Guys, send us your Gundam questions.
Yeah, they did send a couple.
Please do.
What was your introduction? And I guess it was just us watching Gundam.
Yeah, we said ours was... technically, I saw Gundam Wing first, but I didn't like it, so I didn't watch more Gundam. And I think that's a shame, because I think that they really needed something that at least was in the tone of Universal Century to start it off. That way people would know what they're getting into, because no one knows what Gundam is. That's when you talk to someone who doesn't watch Gundam, they think you're talking about a super robot. They immediately think it's like a super robot show, or they have no idea like what the...
I mean, yeah, I think of Space Warrior Baldios too. He's a Gundam.
They literally, like, I was in I'm not gonna
a certain someone.
I was gonna say I was in a certain someone's stream, and they don't talk about mecha anime, but they were talking about watching Gundam, and they were like, yeah, so like it's basically a series where people watch it because they wish they were the robot, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, you clearly never watched any of it because
why the
I don't
fuck
want to
would
be the
I wanna
robot.
be-
I want to be.
They were
Robot.
literally saying the meme I made 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Unlike most mecha anime that focus on the thing, they were literally saying that for real, and I'm like, I'm glad that meme still has a purpose of being alive.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
honestly, here I think a lot of the people who like spam the memes like that and making fun of anti-bears are just as obnoxious as they are. This is no offense, John.
for making the meme.
Yeah, for making the meme.
Yeah.
So, in my case, I will argue, like it's annoying, and there are people that spam that meme that make it annoying, but it comes from a place of pure passion. Like it is my raw emotion.
No, I think my biggest problem with people who just are like, this is what Gundam is and never watched Gundam, it just annoys the shit out of me because it's like, just you don't need to like have a pretend opinion about something that you don't know anything about. There's no point in having pretend opinions on things.
This literally expands to not just Gundam, but pretty much almost every single mech anime or Japanese science fiction series ever created, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know why people have to have fake opinion. Like, I don't need to have an opinion on Sarungal. I don't know
The reason
anything
why
about
I
it.
think they honestly do this, I see fucking like people who really who say that they're mech fans, but deep down they honestly probably aren't. But they're just saying that because they want to look good. Because
there's
they
people
don't
on the internet that are weird about that.
I
harass or
noticed that,
something
and
because
it feels like a lot of communities have that, where there's people who are like faking interest or feigning interest because there's like prestige to it, like it's like lying about saying or like reading a book just so you can say, yeah, I've read that book, as opposed to being actually
we know
in
you
it.
read the Texas Israeli War of 1999.
Well, or like people that like force themselves to watch a film just so they can say, oh yeah, I've watched Citizen Kane.
This is literally like 90% of the Gundam community, and it has this problem.
Yeah, I just watched a Gundam stuff because I liked like after original Gundam, I was like, I just want to see anything this fucking guy makes.
Yeah, well, Tomino stuff is really good.
Yeah.
And,
he speaks to me on a metaphysical level.
I love Tomino, but I think Ryosuke Takahashi is better.
I haven't seen enough of his stuff. I think I was talking to you when I said there was a year where I was going to watch every Ryosuke Takahashi show, and I watched literally one.
Which was
It was Votem's. And Chad and I have the old Central Park Media release, which is one of the worst releases of an anime ever.
It's I gave it to John after I had the whole set and then tried to watch it. And I was like, you have them, take them away. Did I sell them or do we still have them?
We still have them.
Oh, fuck.
They're on our half price bookshelf.
Oh yeah, fuck.
We have a shelf in our house called the half price bookshelf where we
it
put
looks like a half price bookshelf where they just have random assortments of DVDs and Blu-rays.
yeah.
It's just
It's actually, we dressed it up. It's in the Ixer video where I take the VHS off the shelf. But if we showed a wider view, there's a bunch of just random shit on there.
Yeah, and there's so many random DVDs I've gotten over the years. There's like what movies are in there? There's like some weird
like 27 dresses.
Oh yeah,
like,
27 dresses. It's like where the fuck did we even get 27?
You
dresses?
gave it to me. You.
I remember finding
think
King
I
of the Hill in the anime section of my half-price books.
Yeah, no, 27
NG
dresses.
Savior.
I'm trying to think of where it came from. I think it came from my brother's.
No. I remember your grandma sent a box of your stuff, and it was in there.
Yeah, because I had that DVD. So I kept everyone's. So after high school, for some reason, I just got everybody's stuff. And so that I think it was my sister's movie that she got from my brother's girlfriend in like 2007. Or whatever.
We can like autograph that 27 dresses box.
Yeah, there's Anchorman's there. That's mine from when 2005. So I'm trying to think of
Anchorman
other
is a
movies.
classic
There's a bunch
Shikari
of
Shimori
movies
character.
from with Edward Norton in them that I couldn't name because I don't. There's just like Edward Norton movies that no one's ever heard of. We got that from Greg's wife. So.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say after I tried to watch or I finished Votem's. And then I started watching Dagram. I got 8 episodes in, but like it's funny because Votem's. I was watching it on that shitty Central
John, I
Park
just want
Media
to correct
release.
you. It's Douglas Ramsey. Got it.
Well, I was gonna say the Dagram rips are awful. The rips online.
They're not very good.
They're
The show hasn't even got a Blu-ray release still.
no, that's what I was saying. I think there's like an anniversary coming up, and I'm hoping that it gets a Blu-ray release because like there's like 80 episodes, and it's like such a like important show that like you would think they'd have.
Dougram is like legit. Dougram is honestly like is legit more important to anime history than fucking Gunbuster is.
I would say yeah. I would say that because it.
I actually would say, for the record, I think I love 0079, but I honestly think Dougram is better.
I don't know about that.
You'll understand when you finish it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I will because I do like because I think that it's one of those shows where the first episode and it has a Victory Gundam thing where the first episode is like a fast forward because they needed.
Here's the thing though, that was actually intentional.
Oh, it was. Okay.
Yeah, because the thing is of like Victory Gundam, the first episode is meant to be episode 4, and the reason that happens because Bandai screwed in, which really fucks up with the pacing of how the story progresses.
Oh yeah, no, that's the reason why I feel like a lot of people hated it because it really it's like the wind out of your sails for like 5 episodes, and then you start getting back up to like it's fine. He gets a robot in the first episode. It's just not a Gundam.
The thing is, let me say it straight up. Whenever I've watched Victory Gundam, I have never started from episode 1. I start from episode 2, then 3, then 4, then 1, then 5, and onwards.
Oh yeah, no, that's how you're supposed to. I watched it in production order, and I was like, I anytime I recommend anyone, I'm like, no, you gotta start with episode 2, and then go back to episode 1 after 4, because it really, really. It makes the beginning feel like it's so slow because you don't understand what's going on, and then you have to build back to understand. You're like, oh, I already know what's gonna happen. Like, it just makes it feel so much more slow than it actually is. But Victory Gundam's great. I love Victory Gundam.
Victory Gundam is better than Turn A Gundam.
Chad, you've seen both. You can.
I've seen both. You know what? I think I would say yeah. I
like Turn A Gundam.
I think the highs in Victory Gundam are way higher. Turn A Gundam.
I do like Turn A Gundam, so I'm not saying it as a diss for the record.
Oh no, Turn A Gundam is like a good fun watch, and Victory Gundam is a mess sometimes.
I just want to say this straight up. This goes back to what we're talking about, like fake people phoning it in. I've noticed one thing about regarding Gundam is that there are people who just get into Gundam just to watch Turn A Gundam.
That is interesting, but it seems weird to like. I guess honestly, that's like the logical endpoint of you're watching all of Gundam in like production order, because that was kind of the goal. Was it'll be fun once we get to Turn A, but I've watched Turn A already. I fucked up the order. I watched Turn A before Victory.
I dropped out when Chad started Victory. I actually dropped out, and so then he continued it on. But I have seen Unicorn, which you haven't seen, and I've seen
Unicorn.
Riddy is literally an incel school shooter.
Yes.
Which I was glad they.
Riddy is also like the only good character in Victory Gundam.
What? Oh, Victory? No,
I mean Unicorn.
Yeah, Victory. He came from Victory Gundam.
He actually would fit in pretty well in Victory Gundam.
He would fit pretty well in Victory Gundam, honestly.
Which is funny because he's like the only fucking Gundam character that actually feels like a Gundam character in Universal Sin, because in fucking Unicorn, because everyone else in Unicorn is so goddamn romanticized.
Yeah, I think that's honestly the Yasu, because like I feel like Yasu always does that.
Yeah, and that's my big problem with the Origin too. I love how it looks like, but sometimes I feel like this isn't really totally correct. Like that part in the Origin where that guy has like that weird spinny blade thing and he's chopping people's heads off. I'm like, this doesn't feel like.
Yeah.
I think the Origin OVAs are solid. That's it.
I think they're solid. The first one the first one blew me away. I love the one that's just about Rambaral.
Yeah, because honestly, it's funny because his idea behind doing like the prequel stuff was, I want to do more stuff with Rambaral and like everything Rambaral related. Perfect. But then when he like branches out to, what would other characters doing? It feels like half-baked ideas sometimes.
Yeah, the Char stuff gets tiring.
Yeah, also he's just he's got a boner for Char.
Yeah.
That Tomino clearly doesn't have because he made Char's counterattack. Yeah, he's just like, we'll make Char, cry at the end and want a mom. I feel like Yasu would never do that.
You think?
No, I don't think he would ever do that. I think Yasu he would have a cool ending. He would go out.
Here's the thing about like Gundam the Origin. I've seen the OVAs, but I've never read the manga. But there's a reason for this. I would like to, but the thing is, though, I feel like I'm gonna get some serious deja vu, because my impression of like the Origin is that while there are differences enough, a lot of it's just going through Double 79, but just somewhat differently. And now, to be fair, this is just based on what I know about, so I'm probably wrong. So this isn't my final opinion. The reason I say is because I had a very similar experience with the Evangelion manga, which I think is better than the show from a story perspective, because Sadamo's manga actually followed the original script for Evangelion, so it feels much more consistent. However, because there are changes. Some I'm not terribly a fan of, like getting rid of Jet Alone. What the hell?
Whoa!
You can't get rid of Jet Alone.
This is the Jet Alone defenders.
Yeah, the Jet Alone Defenders podcast. We're here.
I'm a realer Evangelion fan than everyone else because I like Jet Alone.
Yeah, I don't know why people don't like Jet Alone.
Jet Alone is fucking cool as shit.
I love Jet Alone.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people like, oh yeah, that's like the second worst episode. And it's like, no, I like that they give context that there's like other people out in the world. Like none of the other episodes have anything like that, really.
Reminder the best fucking episode of Evangelion, and is also like the reason why the show even got remembered as a classic, is the Bardio episode. When I think of Evangelion, that's what I think of. It's not the final episode, it's that episode, because that really demonstrated that, now here's the thing though, everyone knows at this point that the Evangelions aren't really mechs, but if you didn't know a thing about Evangelion, that came as quite a shock, because that showed, these things are actually kind of alive, and I thought that was really fucking cool.
Wait, what?
Yeah, is that the second episode, or where they
it's
show
the one where
eye?
AV Unit 3 gets possessed by an angel.
Oh yeah, that one's good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. No, that one's great. What is it? Yeah, it's just... it's so weird. Jet Alone is rad. Yeah.
Jet Alone is
There's
rad.
so many people who shit on Jet Alone. I don't understand it.
No.
I'm gonna be honest here. I think Evangelion would honestly be a better Monster of the Week show if it had other enemies for the Avis to fight that weren't just the angels.
I think, honestly, just kind of making things simple like that is... I always enjoy that, because some people just get a little complicated and nonsense. Like, it's like, okay, we understand. We don't need to explain enemies ever. It's just there's an angel coming.
I mean, they don't need to, like, at all. I mean, I'll just say straight up. People will be try to look into. People will try to read into the angels from Evangelion as they're like some figmation of Christianity and shit. And I'm like, nah, bitch, they're aliens. Because that's what they fucking are. They don't say it, but they're basically aliens.
Because it has the really convoluted Ultraman lore that I like, where it's just this is our excuse.
The Ultraman shit that's in Evangelion is far more interesting than literally what everyone else says about that series to me.
Yeah, people overanalyze. This is just a problem I have in general. Is people overanalyze things for no reason, and also oversimplify things for no reason. When it's something simple, straightforward,
certified
it's complicated now. My brain is making this complicated. Or if something's really complicated, maybe it's just the most simple thing I can think.
This is every single Evangelion video is this thing had a guy do a thing, but then this guy did another thing, which was a different thing, but a similar thing, which wasn't lead to another thing.
Yeah. Bible stuff just looks cool. That's Evangelion.
Well, it's because they do that in Ultraman.
Yeah, I know they do it in Ultraman.
Because they crucify, because they go to planet Golgotha and they crucify the Ultra Brothers.
Every fucking time I see an Eva fan say about how genius Eva is, I'm just gonna say watch Ultraman, which is basically my way of saying touch grass to Eva fans.
Yeah, and
also watch Mirror Man because the thing, if there's one thing that Ano fucking loves in terms of old Tokusatsu, it's the return of Ultraman and Mirror Man. And Mirror Man has a lot of influence in Evangelion, which is really interesting.
All I know about Mirror Man is that someone sent me the entire series raw with just the M&E files in them. So it's literally just the audio it's all the sound, music, and sound effects without dialogue. And I was like, well, now I have to make my own TV show out of this.
You can commission Sabana to do it.
I sent it to Kieran and I said you might be able to make something out of this, and it's Mirror Man just with the M&E files in.
Ultraman, what is it? MD, nobody but nerds care about Ultraman.
Yeah,
I would say that's true. I think if you watched Ultraman, it's fun. I've only watched a couple episodes and it was a lot of fun. So if you like fun,
Ultraman is like peak Japanese television when you get around to some of the later episodes and later series, especially Ultra 7.
Ultra 7 has the best fight scenes. I love that, like, because I've seen the fight scenes from it. I've watched YouTube compilations, and I love that he's just like, because it has that Redman-esque vibe where he's horribly murdering the monsters.
Yeah, I have no, what is it, I don't watch too much Tokusatsu. I watched a bit of original Kamen Rider, and that's about it. I have a action figure of Hiroshi Fujioka. Because I
Sega
like
Sanshiro, yeah.
so much. I kiss him when I go to bed. I'm just reading the chat real quick.
I was going to say, what would you put on your Shin Kamen Rider bingo card? Because I had Hiroshi Fujioka cameo.
The CGI Ishinomori, he's in.
They won't. They might.
That'd be too much money.
They might name drop him.
Yeah.
I hope they put Furbus in Shin Kamen Rider.
Furbus. Oh, god damn it! Every time I forget about Furbus, it seems like.
So you want to know something funny? Nick he never knew about Masked Rider.
Oh really?
And he didn't know what I was talking about. So I showed him the opening, and he's just like, "This is a joke. Someone made this," and I'm like, "Oh, someone made it."
Yeah,
it's real.
Like what is it?
It feels like a Tim and Eric parody of a TV show.
I mean, Tim and Eric is basically Tokusatsu.
Tim and Eric is basically
Big Bad Beetleborgs feels like a joke too. Where there's like a ghost in there.
Big Bad Beetleborgs is chaotic evil.
Big Bad Beetleborgs happened to my buddy Eric.
I love. So there's I rewatched it when it was on Netflix years ago, and basically there is what is it? So they had to make new transformation sequences to show like the armor coming onto the kids.
Yeah.
But there's like an episode where another girl uses the Beetle Bonder.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to animate a new like sequence for her, so instead of transforming like the other kids, she animorphs into a Beetleborg, and it looks really funny.
I love morphing technology. They perfected morphing technology with Snoop Dogg and Michael Jackson, and then everyone's like, looks easy, let's try it, and then they fuck it up constantly.
Oh god, some guy literally just fucking name dropped Dinosaur War Eisenborg in the chat.
Yeah,
that show I've not actually seen, but I'm definitely aware of because that's like part of a trilogy Super I did called the Dinosaur War trilogy, which consists of that, Born Free, and Poseidon. The last of which is the one that, as far as I'm aware, has been sub, and the one I'm also most interested in.
I think you may be forgetting that I was watching Born Free at one point.
What was that like?
Well, so the subs I was watching were subbed, I think, by an Italian, because there's the main character's name is Joji, but the subs spell it as Jorge. So
Joji is basically the Japanese name equivalent of Joji. For example, there could be a Japanese YouTuber called the Angry Joji Show.
Question: thoughts on the short Ultraman versus Jackal? I haven't seen that. MD Chaos, have you seen it?
The what again?
Ultraman versus Jackal.
Don't think I might have heard the name, but I'm not really that familiar with it.
Can I call you Daddy Merc? No. I'm gonna put my foot down and say no on that.
No, do it now. For
Speaking
all
of
the time.
daddies,
that's
Osmosis Jones is better than the end of Evangelion.
Mystic Knights of Tir na Nog. I remember my favorite thing about Mystic Knights of Tir na Nog is the two things. One is the McDonald's toys, which I was collecting, and I was one away from making the dragon. If you were there, you know what I'm talking about. They had where every Mystic Knights of Tir na Nog toy you got at McDonald's, it was a piece of a dragon, and if you got all the toys, you got a dragon. And I remember telling my dad, like, "Dad, look, I almost got the head of a dragon." And my dad was like, "Oh, that's funny, I did it," because my dad's a plumber. He's like, "Oh, I did a job for McDonald's today, I could have gotten that for you." And I was like, "What?" I was so sad. I never completed my Mystic Knights of Tir na Nog dragon.
Falco, retro anime historian and collector of every single Knights of Tir na Nog McDonald's toys.
Well, another funny thing about Mystic Knights of Tir na Nog toys is that they made the toys before they casted the actors for the show, and they made them look pretty generic, just like based on what the script.
Why do you know this?
and they did it based on like what the script described them as, and they were filming in Ireland. So obviously they made some assumptions about their cast.
Some guy just literally just said, "I love Yasunori Kato." Yeah, I need to see Taito Monogatari.
Well, yes, they did make a Mystic Knights of Tir na nog toy of a character who
Man,
in the
I can't
show
wait
is
for Al
black,
to do it.
and in the toy he's a white guy.
At least assume there's no black people in Ireland. So.
They rolled the dice and lost on that one. The lead paint Mystic Knights of Tir na nog.
I don't even know what this is.
You don't know?
I've never heard of that.
What is it? What do they say? They say, Earth below me, air above me. No, it's water below me. No, how does it go? It's like
It sounds like Captain Planet the way you're
it's
singing
like
it.
air above me, water below me, earth around me, fire within me, and then they combine.
This is.
Okay,
it sounds like
okay.
you could have just made this up, and I'd be like. You know,
Okay,
okay, you're pulling
but
it
how
out.
does
I am,
okay,
hold on.
John, but how does this
Tir na
relate
nog.
to...
Oh my god. It's pulled
Okay,
out.
but John, how does
It's
this
not
relate
me.
to the time where you said Woody from VR Troopers looks like my dad?
Hold on.
Woody from.
He doesn't look like my dad though. My dad's a short Italian man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is what Woody is.
You could be right. I may be remembering VR Troopers wrong.
Yeah, my dad doesn't look like an anime person, unfortunately, or anything related to Tokusatsu. He kind of he looks like Steve Irwin with a mustache. He looks very Australian, weirdly enough. Everything about him is very Australian person, but he's not Australian.
A guy said, "Is Turnagum just Tomono dabbing on?" No, because why do you
That's
need
called
to
brain powered.
No, that's bullshit. Don't you fucking dare bring up brain powered in this conversation. Not that I'm hating brain powered. I love brain powered, but it's really not all like Evangelion.
No, but that was his answer to Evangelion was brain powered. He literally said that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but he was working on brain power before Evangelion even came out. That's the thing.
I mean, yeah, of course, but in interviews and things, he's like, it's the Ava Destroyer. Because he just says that about everything, though, so...
I mean, to be honest, though, brain powered is a better show than Evangelion. But to be fair, so are a lot of other mech anime. But I can name several that are worse than Evangelion. Some of which were from the same studio.
Yeah, it sounds like we're Evangelion haters here.
I'm not.
See, I'm not one. I will
I'm
say
not
I do
Evangelion
have
hater.
an End of Evangelion poster above my toilet, and I do have Shinji with French fries on my.
I'm not
in my
Evangelion
bathroom
hater.
as well.
I just hate its fans.
Oh no, I used to kind of be that way, but I really don't give a shit what fans think, because if anything gets super popular, it's just gonna have the worst fans ever. We knew a person who would just like stuff that was popular.
Yes.
And like knowing someone like that in real life is just. It's just like, oh yeah, just...
Yes, literally whatever the new big thing was his favorite show.
Thing, yeah. He was big into, like, Super Hulock just because that was popular on Tumblr, but he didn't give a shit about anything. But, like, anything that gets popular, it's like...
I will say, he was the reason why I knew what new animes were going to be big. Because he told it... Because I will say I knew about One Punch Man way before it got big because of him.
I guess so. I thought I was pretty early on the One Punch Man. Maybe I didn't talk about it that much.
Maybe you were on it, but I know I heard One Punch Man from him. And then also, when the first episode of Kill la Kill dropped, he was like, yeah, this is a new show, everyone's talking about it. And
yeah, that is true. He would be on top of that stuff, but it didn't seem like he liked anything. He
needed a personality, so he's like, this will be my personality.
My personality is watching new animes.
This show will be my personality. Be on Bioplant, woo.
Yeah, being a general menace.
So I'm going to go ahead and play the theme to Mystic Knights of Tir na nog now. Hold on, I'm going to mute everyone. I'm actually going to put sound back on because I want to hear Chad's reaction.
Dude, it's the whole thing. Oh my god. Pretty hot. Pretty hot.
Poor Justin Pierre.
Vincent Phillips. Was in the show?
She was going to college, but I didn't know.
How is this show? How is this good CG here?
I almost had that dragon.
Which was the hottest in the... I think Pierre might be the hottest.
Justin Pierre.
Yeah. Unfortunately, his toy was white.
Yeah. Oh no,
it's
playing a Toy Galaxy video now. Hold on. Let me make sure this... hopefully... Dan Larson, go the fuck away. There we go.
Alright, perfect. We fixed it.
Yeah.
He's still playing, though.
He's still playing, but they can't see.
I feel like
we won't get copyright claimed.
Yeah.
Because... it actually, whenever someone rips one of my videos, and people rip my videos a lot, Twitter notifies me and asks me if I want them to want to file a DMCA against them.
Yeah, you should sue everyone. It's worked out for everyone on the internet ever.
I don't, because it's usually children re-uploading my Speed Racer video, and I don't care.
Oh yeah, no.
If they were like if it was like someone trying to re-upload my content and pretend they're me or something, I'd do something. But it's usually just kids re-uploading my Speed Racer video, and it's usually obviously kids.
Yeah, I'd
Speed
call
Racer
the
happened to my
cyber
dad.
police. Get him banned from the internet.
Sarungle, so it's spelled like Srungle, and the character designs are by Yoshitaka Amano, and it looks like a sequel to Mospeeda. They honestly should have combined it with Mospeeda to make a new show where it's like, and then Sarungle's like the time skip. That's my pitch.
Yo, Netflix Dunbine looking good. That's a good joke. I just wanted to make sure. Post Boy gets the credit they deserve.
Throw down on code Geass. See, that's when I don't like a show. I understand it's gonna be a controversial take.
Yeah, I always argue with John when he doesn't like things, because there's specific things that he just doesn't like and stuff, and it's like fine. I used to when I was a young boy, I used to get mad when people didn't like stuff that I liked, but now as an old man of 108 years old,
Am I unmuted?
it's just impossible to like. It's just like, it just makes sense. Like, not everyone's gonna like everything. But I get it.
Any updates on Shaq's big challenge? Oh well, as a matter of fact, there aren't. In
John,
fact, I found one of the kids from the show, reached out to him, and he ignored me and kept tweeting about fucking new Pokemon game. And I'm like, hey, bro, I see you're updating your social media a ton, but you're ignoring my questions about Shaq's big challenge.
What if it was traumatic? The challenges were too hard.
Do you think I was triggering him?
Yeah, he shouldn't have done that.
Well, I keep reaching out to Shaq, and he's not replying.
Yeah, well, he went to Knott's Berry Farm.
Shaq is my dad.
See, I should have asked. I should have go back in time and find him, because that's not too far away from where my brother lives. So.
Someone sent me a long email explaining how they were going to get a hold of an episode of Shaq's Big Challenge, and I had to reply, are you being serious, or is this just a funny joke? And they replied that it was a joke, and I said it was very funny.
Shaq's Big Challenge is definitely real.
It is.
It is real.
You
can find things from it,
so
but you just can't find episodes.
Now. Got it.
Shaq purged it from the internet.
Yeah, because he's fat as fuck, and he has no right to tell kids to lose weight.
Yeah, that's what Charles Barkley would say. Is a badass.
Charles Barkley, Shut Up and Jam Guyan is one of the best games ever made.
Undisputed.
Yeah, no, I wish that there wasn't a problem with the sequel Kickstarter thing in that game.
Imagine being
because that guy just wrote funny shit. I wish he would continue to write funny shit.
Imagine being boring enough to be over the age of 20 and think Dirty Pair is better than Titan AE.
Do you have these written down? Dude, Titan AE's trailer has Creed on it, so.
Yeah, and Power Man 9000, which should have been on the final Rebuild movie, by the way.
Speaking of Shaq's Big Challenge, I am actually working to set up a P.O. box, because someone, I don't know if he's in this chat, but I know someone from Twitter actually reached out to me. They had some Tokusatsu DVDs they wanted to give away. So I still have the box. I'm gonna do like an unboxing video and open them, but I want to get a PO box, and I'm hoping that people will just send me like random shit they find, like bootleg shit and like loose anime DVDs, because a lot of people put out singles.
Yeah,
weird singles I'd like to see. I think that would be interesting.
I know someone like said John and MD have a showdown about Code Geass. We should start that now.
Okay. it clearly treads the path of Gundam, but not in a way that I think is interesting or any like.
There's way more Ryosuke Takahashi mecha than there is Gundam, honestly.
Well, design wise, like yeah, it's clearly the
no. Even like story wise, it's got more Takahashiisms than Gundamisms. I mean, it's there. Don't get me wrong, but there's more like Takahashi mecha in it than there is Gundam.
Well, like I said, I've only seen Votoms and the first 8 episodes of Dagram. So what echoes Takahashi's writing in that?
It's not so much the writing, more so like the story elements and the overall setting. The setting is the whole like idea of like a corrupt government is more or less taken from Dougram and the second half of Leisner. The way it's handled is differently. There's a lot of callbacks to Takahashi shows. Like the Nightmare Frames more or less act like the Armor Troopers from because they have the rollerblades and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But they do go in their own direction afterwards to what they feel like their own distinct mechs.
Well, I remember watching it and thinking, "Oh, Lelouch." I hated that they pretty much wrote Lelouch as Char, except he's the good guy. It was
he's really nothing really like Char by the end of the show.
But and then like the whole thing with Clovis just really felt like, oh, they're doing the Char Garma thing, but it's like not as interesting or as built up.
Clovis is like really not all relevant to the plot, so it's kind of like a minor thing to bring up.
Well, it's like the inciting incident is Lelouch. Also, Lelouch does the fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi thing where he changes his name from Lelouch v Britannia to Lelouch Lamperouche, and it's like it's the same.
Have you ever heard of this comic? It's called "The Tails Gets Trolled," and that's the inciting incident. And it has nothing to do with that. I'm just trying to contribute to the conversation. I'm sorry.
I see you're playing a gacha game.
Oh, don't mention that.
Yeah, and also another thing, John, you needed to have watched Scried, Infinite Revive, Ace, and Gunsword to understand Code Geass. I'm sorry.
Oh, fuck. Oh, that should be just dropping my phone.
Because that's from the same director. It has some of the same staff involved.
Yeah, well, isn't that also like the Gundam Seed guy?
No, that's a different guy.
No. What do you mean exactly?
Because I'm thinking of no. What's that show? Infinite Revis. Isn't that the Gundam Seed? The team that did Gundam Seed?
No. The only person who was involved from Gundam Seed was Hirai Hisashi, the character designer for Gundam Seed. But he's also worked on other things like Scried, Fafnir, and probably one of the worst mech shows ever made, Alinsis, but no one knows what that is.
I don't know what that is. I think I used to call Kanazuki. Funny, I mentioned earlier. I used to call Kanazuki no Mika the worst anime I ever saw. But honestly, I'd probably say there's worse now.
I would much rather watch Kanazuki no Mika over Gurren Lagann and Sis.
All right, you're full of shit.
You're just being you Mr. Contrarian man. You just like having opinions that are different than other people's.
I don't.
I'm kidding.
The Kikaider anime is just the manga. It is, but it isn't.
There's some differences.
There's some differences. There's actually like more. There's more villains. Like and there's also like some weird, interesting stuff. Because like if I remember right, there's like a chapter. I think there's like a chapter in the Kikaider manga where he goes to America. I feel like I remember something like that. Maybe I'm misremembering. But like, there's a lot more one-off like monsters that he fights, and then I actually have. I wonder if I have it here. I'm gonna pull it up anyway, because I was working on this. Tap tap tap. There we go. Here. I'm gonna bring it up on screen here.
People who simp over the minor characters or as an Evangelion are people who unleash their inner Roman Polanski.
How come Roman Polanski has popped up twice in this? I mean, the Rush Hour 3, I totally forgot that he was in there. It's crazy that he's in that movie. Why would you put Roman Polanski in a movie?
You know, now that you mention it, Asuka is the type of girl that Luke Besson would go after. Now that I think about it.
I mean, what kind? You know what? I'm not even gonna say. I was gonna say what type of girl does it like.
This
young
one
girl
guy
doesn't he
literally
go
saying
for?
that Gurren Lagann is poor man's gunbuster and Get a Robo. Can I just say this straight up? People who make comparisons to Get a Robo and Gurren Lagann are fucking stupid. The reason
Why?
I say is because
They outright said it was an inspiration.
here's the thing, though. The only thing that Get a Robo has in common with Gurren Lagann is power energy is kind of just a neutered down version of Get a Raise. And also, Gurren Lagann rips off every other mech anime ever as well, and is way more blatant about it than Get a Robo is. Now, if I'm being honest here, there's way more of Gao Geiger and Giga ripped into Gurren Lagann's DNA than there is
Honestly,
Get a
no.
Robo.
Hiroyuki Imaishi talked about it, and he said specifically that his inspiration was Zabungle, and he wanted to do something like Zabungle.
The first half is basically just, well, Diet Zabungo, more or less.
But I like it, and I love that they incorporate. Honestly, I love when they incorporate a bunch of stuff. I think they did it well.
No, it doesn't do it well. They just
okay.
feel like shoehorned references for the sake of it because Gaiks are fucking otaku.
Yeah, but that's kind of just anyone making anything. I feel like is just throwing references. It just depends on how you do it.
And it's not like they're making like the obvious references. Like that's always something that annoys me when people are like, oh, they acknowledged Hideaki Anno. It's like, yeah, everyone knows who Hideaki Anno is because there's that one newer anime where they're animators and they reference Anno, and people are like, "Oh, that's so cool! They reference Anno." It's like he's the most famous Japanese animator.
Yeah, put out what is it, Yasuo Otsuka in there, and then we're talking.
But like,
I mean, they're only not that well from a Western point of view. In Japan, however, a lot of the ones that are referenced are pretty well known. Right?
I'm curious how many people would have caught him at the time. Like, I will say it does bug me when there's references and people don't think that they're original.
A lot of the
because I
references
remember
feel very
there's
tacky. Like one example is how fucking Yoko Sniper just has like the Scope Dog scope on it. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
I think that's cool. But
yeah, like stuff like that's
so tacky though.
My issue is when people. Like, there's a scene in the anime Angel Beats from like 2012 where one of the characters, there's a character who speaks exclusively in English and none of the cast know what he's saying, and one of the lines he says is "get chance and luck," and I remember that being like a really that everyone would say get chance and luck on forums and stuff, and they didn't realize it was a City Hunter reference, and that bugged the shit out of me. That's like, no, that's not just like a random thing he said because it's random. It's a reference to City Hunter.
Yeah.
And that bugged me. So stuff like that bugs me when people think, oh, this is funny because it's weird and random. It's like, no, it's specifically a reference. But like, I don't know. Like if someone saw I can get that with like the Kamina thing where it's like him pointing upwards him pointing upwards in that first episode and like thinking, and everyone was like, oh, that's such a cool pose and that's so unique to Kamina, and it's like, no, that's literally the Riki Ishii pose from Ashita no Joe. That's him putting the finger up and saying like, I don't need 1 round to beat you, I only need 1 minute. And it's that's like an iconic Joe scene. So like I can get people being like, you know, why don't you check out Ashita no Joe? I don't know. I do admit I fall into I kind of get gatekeepy and elitist a bit. I think you get into it a lot more though.
No, but I'm not the gatekeeper. I'm the key master.
That's a fucking Mike Stoll Classic quote, you son of a bitch.
I know.
I was literally watching that video the other day.
Someone will unironically say, yeah, Ghostbusters is basically mecha.
People say Ratatouille's mecha.
Yeah.
Oh, I was trying
That is the most Reddit shit ever. I will fucking kill you right now, John, for saying that.
Yeah, I've never been on Reddit in my life. I think I'm a better person for it.
Hold on.
Because all I ever hear is people complaining about people on Reddit, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm not one of those guys.
Let me see if I can... Yeah, okay. So this is also something I've been working on. I guess I was supposed to update people on what I've been doing. This is something I've been doing is, this is the version of the Kikaider 01 OVA. And basically the Kikaider 01 OVA had really shitty animation. For some reason, Naoyuki Kono wasn't involved in it. He's the character designer for Kikaider and the 009 anime. So I guess he couldn't work on it. So like the last 2 episodes especially look really bad, and they look awful actually. And so
yeah, they're basically John's moment.
Yep. So what they did was they eventually went back and reanimated it, but when they brought the OVA over, when they dubbed Kikaider, they didn't dub and sub the reversion. The version that Bandai released over here was the old version with the bad animation, and so the reversion is on the internet, but it didn't have subtitles. But because the original version was subbed, I've been taking the subs from that and timing it to the new animation, basically. So it's going to be the reversion with the fixed animation with the correct subs. And it takes a while because there is like transformation sequences are a bit longer, so you can't just like drop the subtitles in and they automatically sync up or anything. You have to go through it and, you know, make sure every line fits. But I'm actually, if you can tell, if you know the OVA, this is the last episode. So I'm almost done. I was going to finish it yesterday, but I got tired right towards the end. And then today I spent all day getting my car fixed. Chad can back me up on that.
Yeah, that happened.
It really happened. So yeah, I spent all day getting my car fixed.
And then watching
this happened to my buddy.
And then we saw someone get in a car accident. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, they all died. It was pretty great.
No,
nothing bad happened.
No, they just went. They didn't even like hit the brakes.
Yeah, it was crazy. This lady just was. She almost swore. She's like, "Oh no, I'm gonna hit this car," and then tried to swerve into oncoming traffic, and she's like, "No, that's worse." And so she just went full speed into the back of a stopped car in front of her, and that car hit the car in front, and that car hit the car in front of them.
Yeah, four car accident.
Yeah. But I don't know what the hell that lady was. We were trying to figure out. We were like trying to get in the mind space, but it just makes no sense.
To me, probably on her phone. That was my theory. Because it was too early to be drinking.
Yeah,
But I understand alcoholics. Every time's a good time for drinking.
But when she almost went in the oncoming traffic, seemed like she's like, oh, course correct. But she didn't like course correct. She's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna hit this car.
Yeah.
She had enough time to like turn into grass. But she's just like.
Can I just say that related to Kikaider? Kikaider was my moment.
What does that mean, my moment?
It's exactly what it means.
Okay. I love the Kikaider anime.
Me too.
The OVA.
I like anime, period.
Yeah, not kid stuff.
Absolutely not for children. The Legend of the Orphan is okay for children. You can watch that.
I mean, I guess Chad can back me up, but I did buy when I first turned 18. I immediately was like, oh, I'm gonna buy some of those, and I bought a couple of those Central Park Media hentai releases, and they're not great, and I don't recommend them.
I forgot that you did that.
Yeah, my mom found Anal Sanctuary. It was really awkward.
Oh wow.
She couldn't tell me not to do it because I bought it with my own money.
Yeah.
But she was like, "Please put this away." She was just like disappointed in me, which is fair.
Yeah. What did I don't think I did anything. I didn't even buy cigarettes as 18. I just bum them off other people.
Man, Cowboy Bebop is so cool. I wish cigarettes were real.
No, I only ever smoke when I'm in Las Vegas. That's my rules. I'm not there right now, so I'm not smoking.
One guy just asked, you know who doesn't like the Kikaider anime?
I know who doesn't like the Kikaider anime. Fuck him.
It's that fucker Professor Otaku.
Every time I say how much I love this anime, there's always someone who's like, I heard it was terrible, and I'm like, I know you did. They're wrong.
Yeah, you have. You know what I usually do is I usually take a couple people's opinions, because if you just listen to one guy, they're like, people are always gonna have the same thing. Like
this. Okay, this basically every fucking anime reviewer that says this show is bad, even though it's actually good, is basically like, this show was a ripoff of a movie, which was a ripoff of another movie because they went to Jordan.
Well, I think that, like, for Bennett the Sage in his Kikaider review, it seems like he like, I don't think he understands, like, Tokusatsu stuff, and so
I don't
like
think he does either.
So like, he's like, I don't know. There's like, it also seems like he was trying to criticize it, because there's things he'll criticize, and it's like, well, they kind of explain that later. And it's like, but like, I guess he was getting mad at it as he wrote the review.
Well, yeah. No, that's the old nostalgia critic thing where you just act angry at something for like no reason.
What's the plot hole with the flute? Because like, I don't like. I guess that like, you can argue.
Do you remember like fucking Sage's Perfect Blue video where he said the ending makes no sense? What the fuck was this supposed to mean? And I'm like, did you forget you're watching a fucking horror movie?
Kikaider was a ripoff of Pinocchio. I'm surprised that Disney, the creators and owners of Pinocchio,
Kikaider is better than Pinocchio,
Walt Disney, the person who created Pinocchio, they unfroze him, and he got mad. He saw Kikaider and was like, well, fuck.
Honestly, it's funny because Kikaider is more of a ripoff of Astro Boy, but like, I know that they've always said it was an homage to Astro Boy, but it's interesting because like Kikaider 01 starts taking a bunch of shit from Dororo, and I didn't know that until last year when I watched Dororo, because like the main kid that Kikaider's protecting has a like schematic for the Armageddon god on his back that shows up when they put hot water on. They put him in a bathtub, and that's how they find out he has the schematic on his back, and that's what the villains are trying to get.
I like that when they did that in Full Metal Alchemist, kind of.
Did they?
Yeah.
You know, it's funny you mentioned
from
Dororo. I've actually like thought of like checking out Dororo, and I actually have a bud of mine who doesn't like anime at all. But here's the thing that's really funny: he actually has said that the best adaptation of Dororo is none of the animes but the PS2 game.
Blood Will Tell.
Yeah. And honestly, the thing is though, I've always kind of had an interest of Dororo because of that game, because I've always thought it looked really cool.
I know it's like a holy grail game. Like, it's one of the rarest PS2 games.
It is. That's like one of the things it was definitely most known for.
My interpretation with the flute was that like it doesn't work for, I don't know, maybe I need to rewatch the anime, but I imagine that like wasn't the sound of the flute was coming through like the robot, like Green Man, because the first time he hears it is when he's fighting Green Mantis, I believe, and I think that like Green Mantis is still alive when he's talking to Mitsuko. I think Green Mantis is still alive, he's just damaged, and so like I imagine that like the sound of the flute was coming through Green Mantis. It isn't just that like anywhere in the world he can play the flute and Kikaider automatically hears it, or that's what I assumed. I might just be completely wrong though. My issue with the flute is that it's completely stolen. It is 100%, and they reference it. It's the Mad Machine from Astro Boy, where there's this machine that sends out these waves that causes machines to go haywire. And the name of that episode of the anime is Mad Machine. And Mitsuko says, "You're acting like a mad machine." And he's like, "I'm a mad machine?"
Kikaider breaks the flute in the manga.
Yeah? Why, of course he would. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
okay, yeah.
I didn't know if he didn't do that in the show.
This building is condemned. It has criminal origins.
Yeah.
He's not just any kind of man. He's Mirror Man. And this isn't just any kind of wakase. It's Bansho wakase.
People were really mad about my Lost Media video. Bancho Wakase as a Ishinomori thing.
Yeah.
But I mentioned... it's crazy how many people are like, you should do another Lost Media video. And it's like, the two I made were kind of jokes.
Yeah, they were all jokes.
Like the second one has real stuff in it.
Yeah. It's definitely not a joke, though.
No, Shaq's Big Challenge isn't.
That was the real...
But like the second...
the whole fucking Maze movie being lost really true? Like,
yes. Because there's a TV show that was released, and that's really easy to find. But there is
Maze is like one of the few 90s mech animes that I've yet to see.
I haven't seen it. I know nothing about it. I literally tweeted.
There is a mech in it. It kind of looks something like out of a Rare or something, from what I know a bit about. It's probably not that much.
The time frame.
That's just what I know. Oh, that's just what I know.
But for that Lost Media video, it was literally just YouTube told me I wasn't going to get enough AdSense to get a check that month, and I needed a check because I think I was still buying materials for my Toei Fushigi video, and I really needed to get these translations done. So I needed to get the AdSense really quickly. I tweeted out, "What's a lost anime? I'm going to throw together a video in 2 hours." and I made that video in 2 hours, and it got like 6,000 views the first day, which isn't crazy, but it's like it was enough for me to get the AdSense I needed to make sure that I got a YouTube check.
Well, let's just be real here. The best adaptation of Bacho Wakase is Jet Li's The One.
Absolutely. Chad and I watched the one last year because I didn't know about. I honestly hadn't seen it until last year when I got sent to Detroit by my work, and I was really sad and in a hotel room by myself, and someone posted a clip of The One, and I was like, what the hell is this? And our friend Greg was like, you've never seen The One? And so we had to watch The One when I got back.
Jet Li's The One is honestly pretty incredible. You know the movie is going to be based the moment when Jet Li starts beating the shadows and let the bodies hit the floor.
Hell playing. Yeah. No, it's so good. Also, someone said, can you review Kenya Boy and Koya no Shonen Isamu? I've seen the first 2 episodes of Koya no Shonen Isamu. The version I have is just labeled as Cowboy Osamu or Cowboy Isamu. I imagine it's the same show. Yeah, so the version I have is Cowboy Isamu. But yeah, I watched the first 2 episodes unsubbed. I am not watching it all the way through because it isn't subbed. Watching shows unsubbed is kind of difficult to, keep your attention. But
I noticed that like some people in our chat are talking about like Toei Spider-Man, which by the way, my favorite part about Toei Spider-Man is the fact that people try to act like it's way more historically significant than it really actually was.
My issue with it kind of is historically significant. It's just that it's not a very good tokusatsu. Like, that's my issue.
I haven't actually seen it, but my impression of it is that it's just okay.
All the fights with the mech are stock footage. Like, I think there's a point where they...
Yeah, the thing is, though, people like to say, Leopardon is the first predates Super Sentai and so on. I'm like, do you guys know what fucking Daiteijin 1-7 is or some shit?
That was the same year, though. So, like...
no, it was actually a year before.
Was it? I thought they were both 77.
No, Daiteijin 1-7 actually did air before Toei Spider-Man, but I'll double check just to be sure.
I'm gonna fact check you because I know my Ishinomori stuff, and Ishinomori had created Shojin Bibune for 76.
Okay, please explain Ishinomori's contributions to Bicrosser then.
He didn't. They put his name on it to sell it.
Same goes for Machine Man, right?
Yeah, I think he designed like 2. I think he may have like done a couple of designs for Machine Man, but it was literally they slapped his name on it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Daiteijin 1-7 came out like in 77, and Toei Spider-Man came out in 78.
Okay, I was gonna say I know it couldn't have been 76 because yeah, that makes sense though. If Toei Spider-Man was 78, that also makes sense.
Yeah, and Toei Spider-Man, like, people just like to really mean it because it's the wacky Japanese Spider-Man.
Yeah, because it's funny seeing Spider-Man in a way that you'd never seen him like that before, and I get that, but and it has funny gifs. Like honestly, I know that like putting someone on a cross is like standard for a tokusatsu, but it's kind of funny to see Spider-Man in that situation. I get that.
Yeah, the thing is though, like, you really Japanese tokusatsu fans really don't give a shit about that show at all. Like, I see more for fucking Bicrosser or Guyford than fucking Toei Spider-Man, honestly.
Guyford is fucking incredible. I can't believe Guyford is real.
Guyford is also Capcom Kino too, so
does Capcom own Guyford?
They sponsored it, I think. I don't think they actually own it. The funny thing is though about Guyford and Capcom's contribution into it is that there's actually like game copies of like Resident Evil 1 and Street Fighter Alpha, and though in Japan they're called like Street Fighter Zero or Biohazard, show up in the fucking show. There's also like a monster that wields a bat sword that looks like fucking Alistar from Devil May Cry.
Well, for anyone that doesn't know Guyford, it's a tokusatsu that is like Guyver, but it's Guyford.
He's not just any guy. He's the Guyver.
Well, yeah, it is a tokusatsu that is. I think it's classified as a parody, but it's kind of just stealing Guyver.
Hey, Guyver guy isn't making enough with it. Might as well steal it.
It's sort of like Guyford initially, but but eventually
It goes from being a ripoff of Guyver to being a ripoff of Fist of the North Star.
Kinda, sorta, not really.
Yeah, because he has like the 7 scars, right?
Kinda, sorta, and yeah, it basically borrows from both. The funny thing is though about Guyford is that it's also a Toho Toku show, and here's the thing. Another thing I love is that fucking like Toho is like known for Godzilla, but no one like ever like looks into like their other Tokusatsu stuff outside like their Kaiju, because there's actually quite a fair amount of them.
Well, like,
it also actually look pretty interesting, like Cybercop and the Shoseisen series.
I was gonna say, like, their stuff kind of bleeds in my head. It bleeds in with Tsuburaya stuff sometimes, because like I think Diamond Eyes is Toho, right?
What's that again?
Diamond Eyes. It's the guy whose face is blue and he has like a cane.
I don't think I've ever heard of that. Honestly,
You've never heard of Diamond Eyes? Hold on. I talked to Remix is the one that told me about Diamond Eyes. If you don't know, weekly tube show. Diamond Eyes.
Okay, okay. I've looking this up. I recognize the design in the sense that he reminds me of Inazuma, but not really as cool. No, this is definitely Toho, not Tsuburaya.
Yeah. Okay, I figured. Yeah, Toho has weird superheroes.
Oh yeah, what the fuck? That thing looks like a
Let me tell you about
like
God
people would
Man,
accidentally design that when they're trying to design like a new Slender Man.
Yeah.
My favorite Toho Otaku moment is the fact that Godzilla fans will like hype up Zone Fighter despite never actually seeing his show.
I've never seen Zone Fighter, and I only know it's like it's in the like the Godzilla universe because that one guy whose videos you sent me, where he uploads videos daily. The guy who had the Cashern helmet.
Is it that fucking E. Bernard Ward guy?
Yes, him. I watched a bunch of his videos after you sent me his channel.
He is like one of the most fucking fascinating YouTube channels out there because he like does a video every day of his day-to-day life or something.
He does, but he doesn't have an interesting life. That sounds mean, but like he makes daily vlogs and he's just like, I went to Walmart and I got a call. And it was my mom's phone.
This guy is like over 30, by the way, FYI.
He has to be because he has videos from 20 years ago and he's an adult in those.
Maybe he just grew up real fast.
We need to see him fight Mr. Anime.
We were talking about Mr. Anime. Well, I think we were just saying that like
just
people
mentioning Mr. Anime.
We were talking about Anitubers we could beat up, and I was like, we could get away with fighting Mr. Anime.
And without Guyver Dark Hero, I probably wouldn't have met John.
Yeah, that's true. I met Chad because he abridged Guyver Dark Hero. That was how.
He's not just Guyver. He's Guyver Dark Hero.
It's so weird that the Guyver 1 movie is so fucking weird. Because Guyver 2, it just feels like a real thing. And the first one has like
Guyver Dark Hero
is
goofy. Better than the Speed Racer movie.
I disagree.
What, Guyver Dark Hero?
Yeah, Guyver Dark Hero has a bunch of moments where you're like, it's very clear they didn't have a budget.
Yeah, they're in Utah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still got more of a budget.
You know what also was filmed in Utah? Troll 2. Because they had no money for that either.
You know, speaking of like related shit that people haven't seen, why do I get the impression a lot of the supposed love affair for fucking Speed Racers movie comes from people who've never actually seen the show?
I don't know. Well,
no, I've watched both. I like them both.
Yeah, I did too. I wish they had leaned more into the violence, but I genuinely liked that movie.
It's okay, I guess, but it's not as good as The Matrix.
Well, yeah, what's as good as The Matrix? I don't think you can say that about any movie made by the Wachowskis. You're like, it's not as good as The Matrix. You could say about literally every movie that they've made
here's a
besides The
opinion.
Matrix.
I will say...
The Matrix Revolutions is better than The Matrix. I'm just kidding.
No, that's I was going to be a crazy talk.
Mr. Anime, the Chris Benoit of Anitube, that is 100% correct.
That reminds me of like an image edit someone sent me of Chris Benoit where it's a parody of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but it's titled Honey, I Killed the Kid.
Oh no, getting too edgy now.
Yeah.
It has Chris Benoit's face on it.
Chris.
Let's see, what are people asking? I know my Showa Tokusatsu singers. I know my Showa Tokusatsu lyricist. people who wrote the lyrics, like Shotaro Ishinomori.
And Takashi Koike, I think that was his name.
We're just reading now.
I am too.
Yeah.
I was reading about
What's better,
Yukihide. I didn't know
Matrix or Megazone 2
Yukihide died.
3? I don't know. They both have the exact same problem where the first movie is good and everything else afterwards gets worse and
That's
worse.
true. Yeah, they have the first movie is great, and then the second two movies are a fucking mess.
No, don't say it, John.
I'm gonna be
Don't
honest
read
here.
that
I'm
comment.
gonna be real here. Like
Jared already said it, so the meme's
Oh,
dead.
okay.
That's the Matrix is better than Megazone 2, 3. The first one.
I agree, because I like Megazone, but like I also acknowledge that like yeah, it has a ton of
Megazone
flaws.
2, 3 really isn't that good overall, honestly.
It's
I like it.
It's something where like the plot is bad. It's a mess because they changed a bunch of shit and it's not like coherent, and they also like had to condense a bunch of shit. So like I understand that. I like it because I think the character designs are cool, and I like the animation, and there's really cool scenes.
The thing is, I will say this though, I don't think Part 3 is not nearly as bad as people make it out to be. Oh, don't worry, it's not good.
I was gonna say, I think Part 3 is terrible. Part 3 has unfinished animation. Like,
did it? I don't really recall.
There's a scene where they're like running down an alleyway, and it's like fucking like still shots. It looks like fucking Twinkle Rock Nora or whatever that thing's called.
It's been a while since I've seen Part 3. The part I remember more of the Obari animation bits more than anything.
Well, yeah, you're always gonna remember that Obari.
Yeah, that's true.
The stolen Obari animation is the best part of the Gridman anime.
Yeah, if you want to go the econ route, that is.
Is it what did he say something about it?
There was like a thing like years ago where he like tried to make a huge deal about like Trigger ripping off like Obari and shit.
My thing is that like, and Obari said this himself. He was like, "Why didn't they just hire me to do it?" And I was like, "Yeah, they should have just."
They didn't make amends afterwards, to be fair. But even in the funny thing is though, that whole sequence was like better than what happened after that point in the show's story.
Who would win in a fight, Hiroshi Miyauchi, Kenji Oba, or Daisuke Ban? Probably Hiroshi. So Hiroshi Miyauchi is my favorite Tokusatsu actor. I like Daisuke Ban. Who did Kenji Oba play? I actually have to look up Kenji Oba.
Gavan.
Oh, he was Gavan? Okay.
He was also in Kill Bill Part 1.
Was he one of the Crazy 88s?
No, he was like the assistant to Sonny Chiba's character in that movie.
Wasn't Sonny Chiba one of the Crazy 88s?
No, he wasn't. Sonny Chiba was the guy who made the sword. And he's,
Hattori Hanzo.
Yeah,
okay.
and he's making.
You're right. No,
sushi,
you're right. I'm wrong. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Have you not watched Kill Bill in a long time?
The last time I watched Kill Bill, I was donating plasma, Chad.
That was not that long ago.
It was
in the grand scheme.
In the grand scheme of things, there was a period of my life where I got so broke I started donating plasma.
Oh fuck! Am I at that point in my life?
Why don't
I'm
you
pretty
donate?
damn broke.
You should donate plasma. You don't have tattoos.
I don't have tattoos. This is true.
You ever think about how there's a live-action Tetsujin 28 movie?
There's a live-action Tetsujin 28 TV show.
Yeah, but there's also a movie too. That was like mainly like 2008 or so.
Really?
This guy is asking, "Hey Mercury, have you heard of Chargeman Ken?" You're asking John. Of course, he's heard of it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I think we've all heard. I've heard of Chargeman.
Yeah,
Ken.
that actually reminds me. Okay, I've not seen Chargeman Ken, but I actually have seen Jack's other animes. It's a show called Psycho Armor Govarian.
Yeah, no, I've seen Govarian. Didn't Govarian actually had Go Nagai work on it, right?
Yeah, like I don't know how much he was involved, but I know he was like involved, like the and so on. Here's the thing about Govarian. It's actually not bad. Like, okay, the animation isn't very good, but it's knack. But story-wise and character-wise, it's not that bad from what I remember of it. Like, it's actually kind of okay.
Well, my thing is that like I saw it and I went, oh, knack animation, and now they're ripping off Mazinger because all their animations are just terrible. But then like I found out that Go Nagai worked on it, and I think it was like post his like falling out with Toei.
Yeah.
So like it was during the dark days for Go Nagai.
Kinda, sorta, not really. Well, he definitely had to like he definitely had to find other ways after like breaking his contract with Toei after King. I'd say that like the 80s is probably the most interesting and unknown period for Go Nagai adaptations because there's the Ga Mazinger anime, which actually is pretty good, but it's really fucking different from the manga. The manga is basically Violence Jack, but set in a fantasy world.
But yeah, that was always something with Go Nagai, is that like after it isn't even just the 80s. I feel like it's after he left Toei, like it's like suddenly everything, like we know a couple shows he worked on because he started working with a bunch of like random studios because he worked with like Jin Productions on X Bomber, which is interesting.
He worked with Sunrise to make the Jushin Liger anime.
And then like the 80s, he just kind of disappeared, and like I feel like he disappeared like until they started making those like OVAs of his stuff in like the late 80s and 90s.
Sorta, yeah.
But I think someone else was asking Astro Ganger. Yeah, that's another Knack production. My favorite Knack also did that. I love
the Run meme.
Knack made the Rainbow Man anime that is apparently awful, and it's lost media now. There's like 4 episodes, but I'm trying to think, what else did Knack put out? Knack did the animated version of Shotaro Ishinomori's his manga about the Japanese economy. And the opening is just a bunch of business people like straightening ties, and then it cuts to live action footage of the Japanese stock market because they'd always use live action footage because they're fucking.
Knack also did. They're
cheap as fuck.
They also did another Go Nagai anime. It was a show called Grazer X. That show is interesting because it was like the show that it was the Go Nagai anime that was made like shortly after that Nagai had a falling off Toei. Grazer X I don't really know much about at all. It hasn't been subbed at all. But here's something really cool about Grazer X, its legacy. Because in Shin Mazinger Z, they actually brought back Grazer X as like several different mechs, and Brocken uses them, which is really fucking cool.
I love Count de Capito.
I was gonna say that. Yeah. Just throwing out some Transor Z every now and again.
My Transor Z. That's like the most, honestly, like I've seen more Transor Z than Mazinger, honestly.
I've seen most of classic Mazinger. Toei Mazinger rocks, by the way. Just want to say it straight up.
I'm sure it's better than the Transor Z adaptation, where they made Koji Kabuto and Sayaka Yumi brother and sister.
Very interesting.
Oh, there's only 3 voices in it too, which is funny. One is Mona Marshall.
Yeah.
And then the other 2 is the guy at the beginning of SpongeBob, the
relating
pirate.
To Harmony Gold, people keep asking about like Harmony in Macross, but what I want to know is what is fucking Harmony? It's a fucking Dawn of the Mummy.
They're not gonna do anything with those fucking Frank Agrama films.
I know,
like Queen
funny.
Kong. Yeah, they're not doing anything with those.
The funny thing, have you actually seen Dawn of the Mummy, John?
Admittedly, I have not. I did not watch Frank Agrama's the fake movies he pooped out to get out so that he can get money to leave Egypt.
Dawn of the Mummy is interesting because it actually feels more like an Italian zombie movie than an Egyptian horror movie, even though it kind of is one. It's weird. What's also like really funny that I had a thought when I watched it, I noticed that Shuki Levy did the music for it.
Shuki Levy did music for fucking everything, though.
Yeah.
Like, you see credits in like every 90s cartoon and it says Shuki Levy on it. He did the fucking X-Men.
Yeah, but here's the thing I gotta wonder. I'm pretty sure Frank Agrama knew Haim Saban.
No, probably.
Probably. They're both from like the Middle East.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody in the Middle East.
I was gonna say, I know everyone in the Middle East knows each other.
Apparently,
right?
everyone in America knows each other. It's fucking MD.
I was gonna say, you know Chad's fucking high school friend, which is bizarre to me.
Yeah.
But someone mentioned Ninja the Wonder Boy. Is that the dub name for Ninja Boy Watari? Because I was actually writing about that because I also, one of the videos I'm working on is about Akakage, because I got the series Bible for the 80s anime translated, and there's a ton of cool stuff in there. But before I can talk about the anime, I need to talk about the tokusatsu. So I know that originally they did the movie Ninja Boy Watari, and then the manga author hated it so much he revoked the rights. So they needed Mitsutaro Yokoyama to make a new ninja story for them so that they could make their TV show. It's interesting.
When's the John Gems video on Robotech 2 The Sentinels, though?
Never. I'm Robotech out. Honestly, my third History of Robotech video I think is a great standalone video, and I think I want to retitle it just to be like the History of Robotech the movie, because it's a video that stands on its own, and I don't want to make another History of Robotech. Honestly, like I'm Robotech out. If I did, I want to make the fucking Linkara video where it just opens with stock footage of Robotech and it's me going, History of Robotech has no set schedule. The videos will be done when they're done.
I met Linkara in real life, actually.
Oh, how was he? How tall was he? Because hopefully you remembered his height this time.
I did bring up the Lightbringer comic to him.
What do you think?
He just thought it was kind of a goofy thing he did back then.
Oh, well, that's nice he acted that way in real life, because on Twitter he always
freaks out when people bring it up. It's like, it's just...
Yeah, that's why
it's okay to, like, admit that, like... Yeah, like, we have videos that were pretty cringe back in the day.
Yeah, no, for sure. I just think he gets in his own way sometimes. Like, I follow him on Twitter, I'm like, oh, come on, Linkar, it's fine. Like, it took him a while for him to like the running thing. Like, the running GIF. Yeah, that GIF is so good, but it took him a while to, like, accept it, and it's like... Dude, the video you made was supposed to be funny, and people think this is funny. Like, it's so weird that you're like, I'm so embarrassed by this thing that people like. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, we are also friends with Paul Lotza.
Yeah,
he is someone else.
He's on that GIF, where they show, like, the internet reviewers flying, and it has the lasers coming out of his nipples. What a great guy. I was gonna hang out with them last time I was in California, and I was like, you know what, I'll come next year. And then the pandemic happened, and I haven't talked to him.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Some guy just asked, "Who's Linkara?" Okay, I'll answer that. He's a guy who reads comic books like they're bedtime stories to you.
And he talks like this. And he has a fedora and a great theme song. He has the best of the reviewer like theme songs,
belching
right?
a lot of the time.
He does have atop the fourth wall has the best theme song of internet reviewer theme songs.
I disagree. It still doesn't beat fucking Spoonie using that one song that no one cares about.
I've never seen a Spoonie review. Chad, I know
I was the biggest Spoonie fan back in the day, and it's so disappointing. The fall of your hero. I was watching the Final Fantasy VIII review because I don't like Final Fantasy VIII either, and I'm like, man, he's just... I feel like I'm puppeting his opinions on this because I feel very similarly. But, like, he was very clear and concise, and then we were watching a stream just to see how he was doing, and he's playing Xenoblade on the Wii, and he's like, well, I can't afford a Switch. And I'm like, this is so depressing.
And he's, like, in his parents' basement, and it's all dark, and he's like, he has no friends, and he doesn't have any... new video games. He's playing 10-year-old video games. It's like, that's sad.
Yeah, and he's just talking about how depressed he is all the time. Like, it's a joke, but it's, like, real. And it's... Dr.
Insano. The fall of Dr. Insano.
Yeah, we're just talking about old internet review people. If nobody knows. They're like Nostalgia Critic. To anyone who doesn't, they were all on That Guy with the Glasses. Base Linkara. Yeah, I think Linkara is still friends with, like, Bennett the Sage and stuff, right?
I don't think they were ever friends. I don't think any of the people on that site were friends with each other.
Maybe a little bit, I would have to assume.
Some of them you could say were sworn enemies.
I'll say that.
For sure, yeah.
You ever just think about... something I just remembered? Okay, I actually watched, like, Taborn Free, like, lately, like, a few months ago. And something I just remembered... Wait, that one guy... from Whose Line Is It Anyway? His kid was on That Guy with the Glasses.
Who? Wait.
Colin McCreary's daughter was on, like, That Guy with the Glasses.
Wait, isn't his name Colin Mockery?
Yeah, I think so. Was his daughter? I know that one of the Channel Awesome, or like a former Channel Awesome person, was getting flack in the Power Rangers community because she refused to watch SPD because she called it propaganda. Is it her? I don't know.
Yeah, she refused to watch Mammal 34 because it's propaganda.
You know, I will say this though. A lot like the funny thing is about that guy, the glass, that as much as we give shit about Ben, I actually don't think he was the worst anime reviewer that was on. It's a guy called like Anime America, who I don't know if he still does videos, but his videos were fucking terrible.
There's a
worse.
Isn't Anime America a chick?
Sadly, no. It's just some guy who probably lives in like the Midwest or something. Basically, like he did like a really fucking terrible video on Scride, but then and I also watched his Alostar video, and he fucking like said how like Gene Starwin is better than Cosmo because he actually gets development. I'm like, do you even fucking know what kind of shows you're comparing to?
Hold on.
My slapstick genius not happy because we got off subject.
Yeah, maybe. Let me see.
I've never heard of Anime America, and I remember watching.
Wait.
Oh, yeah, wow, this guy has a lot of views.
So wait, did they transition because or these look like two different characters? They don't look like they're the same person, just in a different gender. Did they like sell their channel, or do they have like a partner on the channel?
I don't remember exactly.
Because this looks like a dude, but then this is a chick, and this is who I was thinking of because I've seen.
Yeah, because they're much more accurate anime. Yeah, that is a big problem with old stuff. Is just nobody researching anything, and just kind of like making stuff up. I mean, that's still a problem now.
That's what happens. Yeah, it's the super eye patch wolves of the world who just
super eye patch.
I assume this is what happened, and so I'll say it. And it's like you shouldn't do that.
You could at least say in your videos, be like, I think something like this could have happened, and then you're like, oh, you're
this is a chick too.
Always forgiven.
Oh wait, I got this is the name wrong. It's Animerica. That was who I was thinking
about.
Animerica.
Okay, hold on.
Animerica. Okay. Okay. Oh, this person has a lot less subscribers.
This person has 3,000 subscribers. Why do you hate them?
Yeah.
I don't hate him. That's
their last upload has a thumbnail of Paul Blart with Sonic hair, and it just says, I can't see it, but I see the word hell.
The Sonic High School Mega. What does that even mean? Not safe for work. What is happening in this video?
This is my favorite AniTuber. What are you talking about? It happened again. Hold on.
What happened again? No, I was laughing at the Ben and the Sages, the boxed wine of anime reviewers. That's me the same, but it's funny. I'll give you that.
Okay. Hold on. Let me check the chat.
Yeah, he's making clickbait material already. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
I like how one guy is saying, "Who's Lupa?" One of many people who got one spotlight of attention on that cut of the glasses and has had no luck ever since then.
Yeah, a lot of them just didn't.
A lot of them don't really stick too long, which is it's a little unfortunate. I feel like there's some people that do okay stuff, but
yeah,
it's just I don't know. Talking about reviewers, something I know about, and not these old animes. I'm sorry.
It's funny because Masako X was a really bad anime reviewer, and but he had good production and stuff. So because when I say he was a bad reviewer, what I'm saying is he did a series where he would do first impressions, but his first impression was he'd only watch the first episode, which I don't think is fair for a first impression. I think first impression, maybe give it 3 episodes is the rule. I'd say 3 episodes
personally.
And then his reviews, and he still does this because I looked up. He did a review of Dragon Quest: The Legend of Dai. He spends the entire video summarizing, and he'll occasionally interject with, "And I like this," and it goes, "And this tells us more about our character." And it's but he spends so much of the video summarizing that it's it feels like just like someone reading an episode to you. I hate his reviews. I hate that. I hate when people spend too much time summarizing.
We know you hate Team 4-Star in general.
I do genuinely hate Team 4-Star. Moscow X isn't one of the people who I hate as a person from Team 4-Star though. Moscow X is a good person. I just don't like his content because it's not for me.
Yeah. When are you re-uploading Saints and JoJo's? You would have to ask Suda, who made those videos, didn't he?
Oh, that's what he was. I didn't know what you were talking about. Yeah, those aren't my videos.
Yeah, I know the person who made those.
Yeah, no, that's our friend who is now a Final Fantasy streamer.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 14 streamer. I hang out with them all the time. We hang out in VR if you ever want to drop by, I guess.
Yeah, no, I didn't know. I thought I'd made like a JoJo's video that a long time ago, but I couldn't remember what it was. But no, yeah, Saints and JoJo's were. I was in them as a voice, but.
Yeah. It's famous Final Fantasy 14 streamer, but not that famous. Suda.
Yes, Suta.
Yeah. I literally got off a call before this with them, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of their videos, though, I think. Do they? Is there anything weird in those videos? I feel like
soon. X-Files
Insane or something like.
No, there's nothing that would get him canceled today.
Yeah,
even though he would be the kind of guy to do that.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing cancelable, I think.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of those old videos just have weird things, and it's like, oh, everything's totally fine, and in the last minute, like, someone comes in, says something horrific.
Someone, yeah, suddenly Chad comes in shouting the F slur.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that happened in anything. I'm glad you used me as an example of someone.
Because you wouldn't. You'd say it.
Yeah, that actually reminds me.
All my videos are still up on my channel, so you can cancel.
That actually reminds me. I actually met Doug Walker in real life.
Ooh, how was he? How tall was he? I'm just gonna keep asking that and see if you remember.
He actually is somewhat shorter than me. I'll say that. Here's something really funny. Like, we actually talked about anime, and here's something really interesting. Like, he likes fucking Kino's Journey, of all things.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Team 4-Star didn't make Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Little Karibo did.
Yeah. Little Karibo. It's me, Little Karibo.
That's a good Little Karibo impression.
Hey,
will you be Little Karibo in my Team 4-Star Abridged?
I'll be Little Karibo in your Team 4-Star.
No, I won't do an exposed video on Team 4-Star until my friends stop working for them.
Yeah.
Once my friends are still on the payroll, so...
Yeah, once it's not a conflict of interest, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get that. No, there's just a lot of people on the internet that are weirder than you would expect.
Yes.
And it's hard to explain unless something comes out, but...
This is about Gundam, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, all of this is about Gundam.
Yeah, that actually fucking, like, reminds me of, like, fucking, like, that fucking reminds me, there is a shit ton of terrible Gundam videos on the internet, and I don't know where to begin from a lot of YouTubers.
Gundam Abridged.
MDK asked, do you remember Cheeseman Joe?
What's his name again?
Cheeseman Joe.
Never heard of him.
His channel was called Idlit Studio. He did G Gundam Abridged with Takahata 101, and then when Takahata 101 joined Team 4-Star, they stopped being friends.
Yeah, there's a lot of like weird like infighting and abridging that only we remember because we were there.
Yeah, I've wanted to make a video on it because it's so interesting, and like a lot of the people involved aren't on the internet anymore.
Yeah,
like Cheeseman Joe, and then it's funny because Takahata 101 was real life friends with Cheeseman Joe. Like, they would record at Cheeseman Joe's house. And then Takahata 101 got picked up for Team 4-Star, and he just, like, ditched him. And they stopped being friends. And then Cheeseman Joe started being friends with two guys who were doing a Buso Rankin Abridged named Yamato SFX and Hayabusa 449, who then got popular doing Sword Art Online Abridged. And they dumped him too, and so he just keeps getting dumped by fans.
There's gotta be a reason.
I don't know anything about Cheeseman Joe, so I can't talk about him.
Yeah, I remember thinking he was like really funny when I was like
I
16 or whatever.
That reminds me of like terrible Gundam videos. One guy's videos who are especially terrible was a guy named like Boofire, and his Gundam videos are like fucking terrible, like unreally terrible. Like, the one I watched was his Gundam Seed video, which seeing as a series I will always defend, but this video was especially bad because like the way it's edited, he has like fucking SD Gundam generation footage, but he also throws in like fucking like Gundam Seed footage that has like Arab subtitles or some shit.
It's like you have to go out of your way to get footage of that quality. Someone asked
Yeah.
why I hate Team 4-Star so much. Their videos aren't funny. Their humor is like The Office, but with anime footage, basically. And then they're also,
The US or the
and then a lot of the
British
people
one?
in charge of that company are not great people. And I'm sure it'll come out someday. Then also, someone said there's some bizarre American comics based on Gigantor, Saber Rider, MD, Geist, and Ixer 3. I actually know because I did a podcast. That's another thing I'm working on. I did a podcast with Ethan, who you may have seen on Giant Robot. He's been on Giant Robot FM as well as the Bomb Squad. They do like Mecha a podcast where they talk about stuff. I did a podcast with him about Robotech and specifically the toy marketing, and he actually talked about how local to him there's a group that actually did a Saber Rider comic, which is pretty interesting. We're a big Saber Rider household.
Yeah, Saber Rider.
I love how
I've seen the
Saber.
original Japanese version.
I
of
like
Saber
how
Rider, by the
Saber
way.
Rider is the name of a character in the dub. They named a character Saber Rider, so he, and then also the character they named Saber Rider isn't the main character of the original version of the show.
The show's actual name character is called Shinji Hikari.
He's Shinji Hikari, and then the second main is a girl named April.
Yeah.
And then
O'Neill.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. Someone's John hates the. I don't think John hates The Office. I would say I would describe their humor as a little like.
It's just like it's what you expect. It's the character.
Wait, what?
Yeah, like the.
You know,
I sure do hope this doesn't happen.
Oh no, it happened.
And then you show it happening.
Yeah,
it's like 10 years behind.
Yeah, it's like pretty basic stuff. Like, I don't know, we were telling them that stuff was like, we were always very critical of the Team Force.
We were,
and stuff. Yeah.
and I'm
Whenever
glad
I
we
think
were
of
on the
Team
right side of
Force,
history.
I just think of this
Also,
one video
Vegeta
that's-
Sasuke Zero was based. Do you remember Vegeta Sasuke Zero? He was the leader of the Sagas Council. They were the ones that said abridging is dead, and they said that if you make fun of them, they're gonna make a video where they put your head on a picture of a seagull.
That's funny.
And they did it to Megami 33.
That's funny. Yeah, there's just a lot of weird people in the abridging community, and it's weird that all that stuff is like lost to history.
It's so weird. I hate Quentin Reviews has an awful video on abridging where he talks about he literally goes
Dude,
from
you think
Yu-Gi-Oh
that's
abridged.
awful? Have you fucking seen like his video on like Macross in the sense that he fucking won't watch any Macross outside of the original show because he doesn't feel weird because the originals make him feel weird. I'm not even kidding.
Well, I will say I've only seen the original, so I'm
Big
not
shame.
one to
You
talk.
missed out on plus as 7.
He starts with talking about the history of animation in general, where it's like, okay, I guess you didn't have enough material for your script, hey? And then after he talks about the history of animation in general, he goes to Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, the dub of Ghost Stories, and then Team 4-Star, and it's like, dude, we need to talk about the Council of Bushin Goodies, founded by Zero Master.
We need a Team Fart Taco.
Yes, we need to bring up Team Fart Taco.
We know the
lead
Team Fart Taco remnants.
the
We
lead-
can talk to them.
The lead member of Team Fart Taco got sent to juvenile detention, and then when he came back, he was
That just reminds me.
What?
You think the moment when like
Never
Quinter
forget Zero.
was like fucking mentioned the Ghost Story dub, Stephen Foster got a massive heart on that day.
He did. He wrote about it in his book. But no, there was fucking Zero Master, by the way, is still doing stuff. He's a VTuber now. He's
I fucking remember Zero Master.
Yeah, he has his avatar in VR chat has a dick. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, he does Fuda streams specifically. So he's living it up.
Yeah, he's living the dream over there. I've talked to him pretty recently. I mean, recently, probably like last year, but
That's more recent than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he did no mention of Zero Master, Kenpo, Boru Nukami, the leader of Team Fart Taco got sent to juvie, and then when he came back he was saying on Facebook about how he was so sad that he was a 26-year-old virgin, and his sister commented on it saying, "Oh, don't feel so bad. You just gotta wait for the right person." And it's like, what the fuck is going on here?
Oh, yeah, I'm friends with all of them on Facebook, and you just see the weirdest shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's just interesting where all the people who, like, all their videos are deleted, like, all the funny ones deleted all their videos.
Truth or deal.
Yeah, all the videos where they say the N word or the F word. It was good times
everyone
for
was
all.
cursing all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say this about Quinn Reviews. is my opinion on him are the same as other people who are like him. He really needs a shave.
He is the neckbeard. I don't think you've ever seen Quentin reviews.
I know Quentin reviews. He made the iCarly review.
He commented on my Megazone video and he liked it, and I was like, oh,
that's wild.
Doesn't he respond to your stuff all the time? We shouldn't probably talk too badly about.
He retweeted a video I made recently. I think. But yeah, Codeband Purple Eyes was cool. He's
a cool guy. He's like the most regular guy like ever.
And he actually like specifically clashed with the abridging community because he was not like on that weird wavelength.
Yeah, because people would like overanalyze and like be like, "This is how you make a perfect abridged thing. You can never abridge Cowboy Bebop. It's just too good of a show."
This guy's an abridger, but do you guys remember Kageto-kun or something?
Oh yeah, of course, of course we do. He did the music for Tome.
Yeah, you never watched. He's friends with a lot of those abridging people, so
he's also friends of Kerberfer as well.
I spoke to Kerberfer like a couple days ago.
Really?
Yeah, sure. Because why not?
Because I had a question about one of his animations, and Grant was like, "I can give you his contact information," and I was like, "Fuck yeah."
Fuck it. Why not?
I can't tell you what I talked about because it's a project he's working on. But yeah, he seems to be doing fine.
Brawl 4.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's finally. He got
no,
Kira Buckland back.
I will say the thing about Brawl Taunts is Brawl Taunts has some funny bits, but it's because Brawl Taunts was entirely written by Rina-chan, which is awesome actually because there's a lot of like slurs that you can't say on the internet anymore, and they were written by her.
It was written by freaking 2B from Nier.
From Nier, yeah.
I think it's wild that fucking Rina-chan actually became a voice actor because when I hear this, like, oh yeah, it's that one girl from Brawl Taunts. Okay,
oh yeah, no, yeah, she was always doing voices. I remember being critical of her voice acting, and then she just got better. Like everyone we were ever super critical of just got better at voice acting. I was like, maybe my bullying helped just a tiny bit.
Street Fighter Chode is what put Rina-chan on the map.
Yeah, no, there's just a bunch of old people on the internet. You're like, like they're probably like, what is it, early 20s, maybe like just stopped being a teenager. Like, oh, your voice acting's bad. I'm a 14-year-old on the internet. Because Rina-chan can't be much older than us, right? I mean, it's funny that we're still calling her Rina-chan.
It is funny that we should call her Kagome Higurashi 15. That was her old name on the Voice Acting Alliance.
Yeah, and on New
That's another thing. Quentin Reviews doesn't talk about the Voice Acting Alliance. That was like a huge hub for abridgers.
Yeah. I was always trying to get in Final Fantasy VII abridged. I
auditioned for every Mega Man NT Warrior abridged because I knew I could do. I was the best Dex. I would always audition for Dex for Mega Man NT Warrior, and I would always be like, "Hey, Lan, get him, Guts Man." And I feel like if anyone comes to me and they're making a Mega Man NT Warrior abridged, let me play Dex. Let me play Dex.
They should get me to play in real life. Just a reminder that the Mega Man cartoon is better than Yuri on Ice.
Nero Smith, that's a good comment.
I'm sorry to all the people who have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Chocolate Bar 999. You clearly know old internet people, so I'm glad you're like involved.
Yeah, you could. I remember talking to Spaz Kid when he was making that.
He was making Insanity Not Included at the time.
Yeah, that too, which was fucking insane that he was doing so much animation. But yeah, that's that back in the day, back in the old internet days,
back on the Skype days.
Yeah.
You kids these days will never understand the real feel moment of watching Men in Black the animated series in 2 parts on YouTube.
Oh no, I watched one of the first things I ever did on YouTube was watch Final Fantasy VII Advent Children in like 16 parts. And I had the worst internet ever, and so it took me like 4 hours to watch the whole movie.
One of my favorite memories on like early to just searching up fucking Ghostbusters and Men in Black videos for whatever reason.
Well, it's interesting that you know all these people too, because like I feel like we were pretty young, but I only found out that you're actually like a couple years younger than us. Yeah. So like it's funny to think that like we were probably like early high school.
Yeah.
And then you were in middle school watching all this happen.
Yeah, old fogies talking. We're not even in our. We're still in our 20s.
Still, we're right there.
We're still in our. Once we hit 35, I think we could be old fogies.
I always think about it as Homer Simpson was 36. So,
oh wow!
So once I'm 36, I'm basically dead.
I'm basically an old man. Yeah, no. A lot of these names are just like throwing. But yeah, just. Yeah. I just remember
hey, John,
a lot of
what's
old
the name of that
shit.
Shotaro Ishinomori manga that rips off Planet of the Apes?
I like how we've gotten we hardly talked about Gundam this time.
I'm sorry. This is like
give us Gundam questions.
This is like an old internet troll stream.
Yeah. I knew too many internet trolls. It was, and I never trolled anyone really. I just was like there. I was like the cameraman, and I was taking pictures of the wars happening.
Did you watch?
Okay, this isn't
Lion,
Gundam, but one guy asked, "Do you watch Kim of the White
Lion?" Is my mom's favorite anime. I bought her the DVD for one of her birthdays. I did watch Your Movie Sucks' video, and I think it's a shame that like one of the people that consider themselves like an Annie-tuber never did a video like that, because I feel like it's so great that after he made that video, everyone who made a Kimba video had to update their comments with a pin thread saying, "Please watch this one; it's better researched." And even fucking Saber Spark had to put in his title in the description, "Please read the pinned comment," and the pinned comment is, "Go watch Your Movie Sucks' video is better."
You know my favorite thing about Kimba the White Lion, and this relates to that video. Okay, when you think of all the various like Tezuka stuff, you ever notice how like people bring up like stuff like say Astro Boy, Blackjack, and Phoenix, but yet no one brings up Kimba the White Lion, and if they do, it's just because of the Lion King thing. It says a lot about its popularity.
Yeah, I think honestly, like I think it was a short-lived hit in America because it was like an animated series. Like in there,
it was like one of the first import jobs or something.
Yeah, or it was. I think it was produced by NBC because that's why it's in color. Because Japan was very anti doing color, but they like NBC was like no.
Okay, some guy literally just mentioned Time of the Apes. Do you guys know what that is?
What did they mention?
Some guy in the comments mentioned Time of the Apes. If you don't know what that is, Time of the Apes is Tokusatsu take on Planet of the Apes. I've not seen that. It's called. But the original title is called Saro no Gundan. I've not seen it, but I really, really want to because it looks really cool.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I love putting people in monkey suits in Tokusatsu.
Everyone asking our opinions on Gundam
because you're just hoping that.
We watched the first 9 episodes.
Yeah,
right?
We watched like the first 9, and honestly, I really wish that was the first Gundam show to come over here because I feel like it's the most accessible and like a highlight reel of other
Which
Gundam.
Gundam show we're talking about?
Gundam X.
Oh, I love Gundam X. The thing is, of my favorite Gundam shows, I know one guy asked like way earlier in the stream what your favorite Gundam series are. So I guess we can probably answer that. My favorite Gundam series, I pretty much like almost all of them. There's very few there's very few Gundam anime I actually would consider not good, and even fewer I would consider bad. But basically, my favorite is a tie between Zeta and G Gundam. Then Gundam X, then 00, then Victory or G-Reco, then 079, then probably Seed. Honestly, there's stuff when it comes to like most Gundam shows. There's ones I love, there's ones I really like, and there's ones I just generally like. There's very few Gundam series I actually think are not very good, which basically just amounts to Twilight Access and Unicorn and Narrative, and to an extent IBO, but I don't think IBO is entirely bad.
Yeah, I'll say this. Watching the stuff in chronological order, the first thing that I'll give F91. It feels like it's a 50-episode show and I'm seeing a weird highlight reel, but it's like good ideas that I like.
That show has like a weird resurgence of fandom these days, and I don't really get it. I mean, it's a fun movie, it looks pretty, but Crossbone's just way better.
Yeah, I was going to say the thing with it is it feels unfinished. It feels like you're getting, you're watching a 50-episode show, but you're only getting 2-minute snippets.
My problem with F91 isn't that per se, but it's just really just the most safest and most bland Gundam story you can come up with.
But I feel like you can't really like gauge the story from the way that it's like put together.
Yeah, where you're watching it, it feels
you're
like you're watching it
this
on
is,
fast forward.
Yeah, you're watching it on fast forward. And you're like, oh, this is episode 6. I know what episode we're on now.
Because there's like the one moment where they're like randomly like getting potatoes, and it's like that would have been an episode where they need to get those potatoes.
And then you get food for a, or like there's that character that like switches sides. And I'm like, oh, that would have been a fun episode, and they just switch sides, immediately die because we're only getting like bits and pieces.
Or like even at the beginning when they do like the beauty pageant, the girl like shouts like, "Oh, this all happened because I wore your dress," and she's like yelling at her about her mom, and it's like there would have been way more about her and the tension between her and her mom, but you just get that random line in there.
Yeah, it's just like a weird highlight reel. That's the kind of the same.
Unrelated. One guy just asked what we think of Igloo, MS Igloo that is. MS Igloo I think is honestly like legit pretty underrated. It's actually all the UC Gundam OVAs. It's probably my second favorite. A lot of people don't really give it a lot of attention because it's the one that's entirely CGI, but CGI actually does look really good, and the actions are actually really cool too. The humans don't look great, but if you just pretend it's a PS2 cutscene, it's fine. Music by Megami Ohashi is great.
It's the Xavier Renegade Angel of Gundam.
Yeah. So I've only.
I would disagree. Because I'm pretty sure that might be SD Gundam Force. I'm kidding. I actually want to see SD Gundam Force. Which, by the way, here's something really fucked up about that. SD Gundam Force has never ever been subtitled like at all on the internet. The only like available episodes of it are literally just the English dub, which I'm sure it's like fine, but come on. I want to at least hear what the original Japanese version is.
Did Bandai do a release where like the dub is edited?
No, it's just there is no like Japanese audio track.
Oh wow, that's weird.
It really is, and the funny like something that's really weird about like SD Gundam Force is that, like, I know this is a really stupid site to like bring up, but like SD Gundam Force is like one of the lowest rated on ANN for some fucking reason, and I never seen the show, but like really, this is what you guys really fucking hate.
I would say from my top 3 Gundams, I'm gonna be a basic bitch and say 0079, 0080 also, and then probably I like all the OVAs, even 0083, which apparently people hate on the internet now.
0083 is actually really good.
I like 0083.
I'll be honest, I wasn't a huge 0083 is one I used to not be too into, but the more I gave it like a read of mine in Japanese, and we really came along to really appreciate it. Which, by the way, one of my favorite things about like 0083, and I think John knows exactly what I'm talking about, is that there's a character named Kelly Lasner.
Yeah. Because I made the joke. He's like, you may know my cousin Johnny Vodums,
and my brother Ted Galliant.
Yeah, the for Gundam shows.
Top 3 go.
Top 3. That's hard. That's hard to say. I've been recently I used to hate Char's Counterattack, and then I saw it in theaters, and I was like, I fucking love Char's Counterattack.
Yes, my
and I have been championing Char's Counterattack, but only the subs, because the dubs the dub doesn't have precise enough acting, and I feel like a lot of stuff just can kind of go over your head. I
feel like a lot of people's issues that come from Gundam shows kind of come from them watching the dubs in some instances. Because 0083 I think is a good example, because the English dub is actually good, but the Japanese one's just so much better because of just the dialogue got altered in ways that just don't really fit well.
Yeah, because 0083 is the one that has them calling Jaburo Jabrow.
Yeah,
Chuck Keith
like
is
for
great.
A really good example of this is Bernard Mancha, who's kind of an asshole in the dub, but here in like the Japanese dub, the way the actor like portrays him, he's still kind of a goofball and kind of a pervert, but he's not really that much of an asshole in like the Japanese audio track that is.
Yeah, no, a lot of problems with dubs is like I feel like they just kind of like look at it and interpret instead of like listening to the audio or like trying to.
I mean, we've talked to people who worked at Funimation or who did like minor voice roles, like Grant and stuff has done voices for like what's that dumb cartoon with the Red Riding Hood girl?
Oh, you mean
Rawabi? Yeah.
No, I don't know if he's been in it.
He recorded for it.
Yeah,
so when they do Rawabi, if anyone, I don't know if they've ever said this publicly, the way they do Rawabi is that it's cheaper to just have everyone who's auditioning record all the lines for that character for a season. So
Or like an episode or
or
something.
yeah. So Grant said he recorded like a whole episode of Rawabi, and that was his like audition, and then he didn't get it. But yeah, so he's and Kieran's done stuff at Funimation too.
Yeah. No, there's a couple of things.
And basically they kind of just wheel them in like cattle, and they're like, today you're dubbing this character. 3, 2, 1, go.
You know, that actually reminds me of a really funny story revolving like Funimation that a guy I back then who I still kind of follow it, but he told me a really interesting story. He actually talked to like people who were at Funimation, and Funimation generally did believe this, that they believe that if they picked up any Gundam series, they would not sell at all.
Well, yeah, I think there's definitely more of a market for Gundam stuff now that the internet, you can like kind of, because I did. Like, when I was a kid, I thought it was just Gundam Wing, and going back and rewatching all of Gundam up to Turn
You know,
A,
one of my favorite part about Gundam localizations is, okay, you know about, like, no one believes this anymore, first place, the whole meme of, like, skipping Double Zeta Gundam. You want to know what my favorite part about that is? It just came from the fact that just Bandai forgot to, like, bring it over and dub it.
Well, I don't think they forgot. They dubbed 0079, and then they had to take it off because of 9/11. They dubbed Zeta, but they dubbed it cheaper because they moved it over to their non-union site in Canada. So they did a cheaper dub.
Yeah, they went to Blue Water.
Yeah, they got the cheaper voice actors. That dub aired on Toonami, and it bombed because it's honestly not a very good.
Did it air? I don't think it even aired.
Did it?
No, I don't think it did.
No, it didn't air, I don't think.
Okay, so yeah.
They wanted it to be, but it never got on.
Yeah, so Zeta didn't get picked up, and then they were like, I guess we're not going to do double Zeta.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just funny. It's just funny how that works.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people just parrot like weird old Japanese opinions online on stuff where they just.
The thing
like,
is, though, like Double Zeta has always been Japan, been disliked or anything. I mean, there's a reason why it always gets and such, even outside of Gundam.
Yeah, it's always strange to just take people's parroted opinions, because I always heard Victory Gundam was terrible, and then I watched Victory Gundam and really liked it.
There's a reason I don't fucking trust Gundam opinions from the West, because a lot of it's like stuck, because a lot of them are like stuck in like the early 2000s and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of weird opinions on the internet about that stuff, but rewatching all of Gundam up to Turn A, I'm going to get back to this. Weirdly, the one that I dislike the most, and I was actually really surprised, is I really didn't like Gundam Wing, because it feels like they're just making shit up as they're going along.
I think Gundam Wing is pretty good, but the thing is, though, it's definitely, I think the problem I have with Gundam, the fact that with characters like switching sides and such, it becomes a bit confusing.
They switch sides for no reason, and it's just because like we need a conflict for this episode. Let's just have them act completely out of character for this, and then they decided 5 characters, but there's 3 Hero Yuis on the team, and each Hero Yui is worse than the last. Because
Here's
Hero
the
Yui's
thing
fine.
about like
I like
Gundam
Hero
Wing
Yui,
that no one brings up about, and this is really interesting. Is that show was basically Gundam's answer to Ronin Warriors, because Sunrise also did Ronin Warriors.
That totally makes sense.
And Sunrise had a bit of
because there's a lot of stuff that feels arbitrary. Like having 5 pilots feels very arbitrary when a lot of them character-wise overlap, except for Duo Maxwell and Duo Maxwell's great. It has some of the best. I love Duo Maxwell and Trey's, but then like a bunch of other characters are so stupid, and those characters are written well, and it's so confusing, and it feels like someone else is writing.
I
those
also
characters.
will defend about like Gundam Wing is that Kotai stick.
Oh,
you cut out a bit. What was it?
Kotai's music in Gundam Wing is top tier.
Oh no, of course. All the music in Gundam is always good, though. I don't think there's really bad music in Gundam.
I just want to point out, Axis of Fear said Blue Water wasn't non-union; they were just a cheaper acting union. The reason why I said that is because when I recorded with Ethan, I went on a tangent complaining about Blue Water dubs and how they're so bad, and he was like, "Yeah, he had said that they were a non-union, so I just assumed that was right. I didn't fact check him, so I just assumed he was right." But
that reminds me, how many fucking people you know how a lot of people like fucking is obsessed with like old anime shit, but you don't see anyone like bring up like Ronin Warriors or anything like that, despite the fact it actually was like one of the first like A's anime that was generally kept intact to my understanding, that was broadcast in America and on Toonami for that matter.
Yeah, I mean Robotech kind of too, at least for the Macross part.
Yeah, to an extent, but Ronin Warriors was at least kind of sounds is somewhat similar to Samurai Troopers.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm actually waiting to get the to pick up the Discotheque Blu-ray because I heard that the Blu-ray has the Samurai Troopers and the Ronin Warriors dub on it. Which...
Yeah, which is really cool. I'm generally a Sunrise expert, and I'd say Ronin Warriors itself is okay. I think the thing is of like Ronin Warriors is that this is basically Sunrise's answer to Saint Seiya, but replaced Greek mythology with Japanese mythology, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think that actually is really cool. The thing is, though, the actual characters themselves really, like, if you were to ask me what their defining personality traits were, I honestly couldn't really tell you, honestly. They're not really that strong in their characterization outside their designs and such. And the actual, like, plot itself just feels very like stretched out. It's not bad, but they could have like really there isn't like anything really to keep things really that interesting or compelling. And to be fair, I did kind of watch it all in like 4 days for some reason.
Oh no, I never remember anything I watched in like.
Yeah, that was Chad watching Chobits.
Oh yeah, Chobits. I only remember the beginning and the end. I remember Pantsu, and that's about it.
You don't remember the episode where they go inside a video game?
No, I don't remember that one. It's that Hari Suzumiya episode. That's all I remember.
Someone said X, 0080, and 83 have weak music. I disagree. In fact, 0083 and X both have awesome ending themes.
Oh yeah,
because fucking X's ending theme sounds like it's done by fucking Chicago.
Yeah, I know. They got
Gundam X's music, I will say, is not one of the absolute high point Gundam OSTs, but still solid. And 0083's music is interesting because a lot of it is ripped off. A lot of the music in that show is actually stolen from other movies.
Yeah, it's a lot of James Horner stuff.
Yeah, like a lot, like the track "Assault Waves" is like ripped straight off from like a 1980s sci-fi film called Brainstorm, starring Christopher Walken. And there's also like some tracks stolen from like John Carpenter's The Thing too.
No, there's one track also stolen from Death Wish 4 or 5.
Of course. Someone at like fucking at Sunrise was a huge Canon fan.
Yeah, Canon Pictures, the biggest fan of Canon Pictures that ever existed.
Exactly.
Magic is great. I love Magic. They need to put more R&B in fucking anime.
I found out like I actually looked into the singer who sung Magic, and I found out he's still around and he's complaining like Western politics or something. So yeah,
that's a shame. I was gonna say, if you don't like 0080 music, I used it in this at the end of that Subaraya video.
I fucking love that fucking NordVPN 7, John. It's so fucking funny.
I'm glad you liked it. A lot of people said they didn't watch it, and I'm like, oh, I put a lot of work into it. Hold on, let me see if I'm gonna see if I can play it here.
Oh, it's not playing.
It's not playing.
No, you gotta fix the.
Oh, I'm sorry. There it goes. Hold on. There you go.
You know, the funny thing is, the moment you mentioned Babel Nisei, that's actually kind of what got me wanting to read manga itself, for the record.
So,
the manga's really
good. Was my NordVPN ad?
Yeah, well, actually, the whole video where you mentioned Babel Nisei is kind of what got me wanting to watch
because I mentioned the 2000s version in this. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I haven't seen the 70s show yet. I would love to, and I have it downloaded, but I have seen like the OVA of Babel Nisei, and that is a really interesting OVA because for the record, I have like thought of like actually like doing like videos on what Yokoyama stuff, because no one really talks about him that much, which I think is a huge shame. But the thing is of like Yokoyama adaptations is that a lot of them are very different from their source material. And the reason because as I think if some of you guys seen John's video on Kazuo Tsuburaya, whatever his name was, Yokoyama encourages adaptations to be very different from his source material, which usually resulted in stuff that was very different from its source material. The thing is, like, you have like 80s Tetsugen, which is very, very different from the original source. For one thing, like Tetsugen fights like aliens and shit.
Mm-hmm.
That anime is great, by the way.
I like it. Yeah, I got the Blu-ray. My brother got me the Blu-ray for one of my birthdays.
Dude, 80s Tetsugen is fucking great. Then you also have like God Mars, which is very, very fucking self.
Yeah.
But then Babel 2 Nisei's OVA is interesting because it's different from the manga, but it also has a lot of shit that only makes sense if you've read them. It's also what's weird is the fact that Babel doesn't really use Ropos Poseidon or Rodham that much in the OVA. He uses mostly his psychic powers. And here's something really funny about it. It's all the character designs were done by the Saint Seiya characters, not Masami.
No, I know who you mean, because yeah, it literally just looks like if you've ever seen the Fumino Kojiro OVA, it looks just like that.
Yeah, it really feels like a Saint Seiya OVA that just so happens to be connected to Babel Nisei for some reason. It's not bad, honestly. It just feels kind of weird.
Yeah, my one thing is that if anyone watches that, this is something weird that I didn't notice until like years later. There's a dub that's decent, but the dub actually has a different soundtrack, and I didn't realize it.
A Wheels on Meals kind of moment.
Yeah. But yeah, I was gonna play because I used 0080 music in this.
We're really getting off subject a lot.
Hey, we're still getting on topic with Gundam at least.
He no longer fears the government, but says the government should fear him.
That lie is so good. Okay, real talk though. I fucking love the 0080 soundtrack. It's so good.
I love it too. I wanted to. The Michi Himeno is the one that draws like Saint Seiya, by the way.
Yeah.
Because I think she also did. I believe it's a she. She also did Yu-Gi-Oh's character designs. I think, right?
I'm not entirely sure. That also reminds me, speaking of 0080, the director of that is interesting because I forgot his name, but he's only directed 2 other anime ever, and they're all mecha, and they're all like related to other properties. 0080 is his most famous one, but then afterwards he would do August 2, and also would at his last one would be Palliber Wasted 13.
August 2. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, the one with the.
I know what August 2 is. I'm just trying to think. Damn, because I know the script for 80 is by Hiroyuki Yamaga.
He did some writing on it. Yeah, I don't know if he did all the scripts.
Oh, he didn't. He didn't do all of it.
I'm not sure. I know Yamaga.
Thinking about the part in August 2 where that one guy was like, in order to prevent that bitch from assassinating me, I pretend to be mentally retarded 7 years.
Yeah, no, that seems great. I love that guy. Well, that's
I love the August 2 dub so much because they just add a bunch of...
Go before I throw you down on the ground and rape you. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
that's like a famous anime line, and no one knows what it's from.
Yeah, those lines in that are insane. It's very memorable for sure. Yeah,
is the anime where people don't know from, which I think is a bit of a shame because that OVA is honestly like really good.
She's dressing up like the I think she was dressing up like a gypsy, and she goes, "I look like a hua." MDKS needs to say something about C2.
Yeah, she's cute.
I agree.
Yeah, I have a mug with her on it that says, "When are you getting me my pizza?"
She's like one of 2 anime girl figs I actually have, so there you go.
Oh well then.
Chad has
I have them all.
Yes, Chad, we know you have a Gunbuster shrine.
I do have a Gunbuster shrine.
In your bathroom.
Oh no,
he has an Evangelion shrine
in my bathroom. Haha. I was secretly an Evangelion fan this whole time. I've just tricked you. Yeah, Bryan Cranston is in a bunch of...
Wait. Bryan Cranston was go before I throw you down on the ground and rape you.
No, that's not him.
That's not Bryan Cranston.
No, it's definitely not him.
He's probably in that dub because he's in a bunch of dubs
at
the time. CC's Pizza. C2's Pizza.
I like that you called her CC.
Yeah, because I was just reading CC's Pizza. I'm sorry.
This guy fucking knows I have a Muvlov figure. Which isn't wrong, it's true. There are worse shrines to have. I would agree. I know Transformer fans exist for one thing.
I have a bunch of different. I have
that's
a bunch of
actually,
different
like,
gods
another-
I pray to, and I have shrines for. So
I was gonna say I want to like rearrange my room and then maybe like I'll do like a video where I show my because I have an Ishinomori shrine right here.
yeah, he prays to it every day he wakes
He
up.
prays to every day, hoping that Master Red won't slaughter him for not watching his show, aka me.
Yeah, there are worse shrines to have. You're making it sound like it's a bad shrine to have. Like what's a,
There's nothing wrong
what
having
would you
an
consider a
Ishinomori
good shrine to have? I want to know.
Yeah, I just want to say this. Let me just tell you the most dangerous mech opinion that I have that no one is right. Transformer fans are the Godzilla fans of mech fans.
Yeah, a lot of there's a Godzilla fan I know, and not to shit on him liking Transformers so much, but it does feel like he likes Transformers quite a bit because he grew up with it. I feel like that's a lot of Transformers fans.
Transformer fans are based on my experience, are usually pretty crazy. Like they make Evangelion fans look more sane.
I don't have
comparison.
if I had I don't have a shrine just to Asuka. I have an even amount of Asukas and Reis and Masato's.
Where's Jet alone?
Because I'm a centrist bastard and I can't pick one.
Damn.
No, I actually got a lot of Evangelion figures from. I used to buy used stuff on eBay, and you would buy it for like $5, and they'd throw extra stuff in. Because I used to buy a lot of Gundam stuff on there too, and they'd be like, "Oh, you like Gundam?
Look,
here's
one guy
an
asked,
Asuka," and I'm like, "Okay."
Oh, one guy just asked, like, any of you guys watch Shirado, Tatsunoko, Saint Seiwami? You know, I never seen Shirado. Heard a few things about it. It looks interesting.
I haven't seen it. After Tatsuo Yoshida died, Tatsunoko kind of dipped for me. Lightan looks cool. I did want to watch Lightan, but I think it got pulled from High Dive before I could get to it.
But do you have a Robin Williams shrine? One guy asked. No, sadly, but I do have Goodwill. Good enough.
Yeah, I have what else? What other shrines?
You know, the funny thing is though about like Tatsunoko stuff is that I think my favorite Tatsunoko stuff usually comes from the 70s and the 90s, honestly, and some of the early 2000s.
I love the 70s is like their golden age, and then the 90s is when they made edgy reboots of everything, which I also really like.
Tekken Man Blade 8 is one of my favorite shows ever.
Like,
but here's the thing though, I'm better than most people who like because I've also seen the 70s show. 70s Tekken Man is like legit really fucking good.
Wait, who's Tekken Man?
Yeah, 70s Tekken
70s
Man.
Tekken Man.
Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna say I really like Gatchaman, so that's my big.
I have not seen Gatchaman. The
Gatchaman
only like
is great.
Tatsunoko
It is
characters
one
I'm
of the
like.
most entertaining shows that ever existed. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I'm sure
that they're able to
Gatchaman's
keep
rad.
it
I'd like
so
to get
fun
around to it.
constantly.
But the Katsuno characters I'm the most attached to, in terms of ones that actually have like multiple shows, is basically Kashan and Tekken Man. But I also really like Soul Taker and Generator Gall as well.
I would say mine are probably Speed Racer and Gotcha Man. I also really like Kurenai Sanshiro. My biggest issue with that show, Kurenai Sanshiro is like a straight up spiritual successor to Speed Racer, which I think is awesome. But the problem is that Kurenai Sanshiro doesn't end because like he's trying to find.
Isn't like Speed Racer just based on a manga? Isn't it technically not Tatsunoko's property?
It is.
It's the manga is by Tatsuo Yoshida.
Yeah, he drew the manga and wrote it. So.
Oh, so he worked at Tatsunoko as well, right?
He's the founder. It's
Yeah,
named
it's
for
literally
him.
named after him.
Okay. I stand corrected.
Yeah. What is it? It's also really great that Yoshitaka Amano worked on all their shit.
Yeah,
Yoshitaka Amano is one of the goats for that reason. Like, fucking like Cecil's Dark Knight form is literally Tekken Man.
That's you know what? I never thought about that, but that's true.
Look at the proportions and like the shapes of it. It's a very much Tekken Man.
That is. I never even thought about that, but that's great.
Oh yeah, no.
I didn't even realize that until I watched 70s Tekken Man.
I was just saying for the edgy reboots in the 90s, my favorite would probably I really like the Kesher and Robot Hunter OVA, and then I also Samurai Pizza Cats is also 90s Tatsunoko too.
You know, that actually reminds me. I've seen every Kashan adaptation, but not the live action one. Now, I've
Same.
heard it's not particularly that good, but I do have an interest in it because it kind of looks kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'm the same. Where I heard people said that it was interesting as far as live action animes go, and I think it's supposed to be like more artsy or something. I don't know. I could just.
I don't think I mind that for Kashan because Sins was kind of like that, and I think it did that well.
Yeah.
I also don't trust those people because they also say Ano's Kitty Honey movie is good, which it's not.
You're just gonna shit on Ano stuff forever.
Hey, want me to tell you another thing I do like? I like Nadia.
Especially in the last minute. Ha 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 ha. I'm just kidding.
You know what I definitely don't like that is related to the Nadia movie?
Oh, the Nadia movie is fucking awful.
We watched the Nadia movie together.
Yeah, we did.
My favorite part.
It's fucking terrible.
The Secret of Fuzzy is, first of all, that is the title. The Secret of Fuzzy.
At least
they don't put it on the cover because it sounds awful, but it's called like Fushigi no Fuzzy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's something weird like that. I don't know, but that movie is like a weird.
There's a scene where a guy pulls out like a tiny lightsaber and sticks it in his ear.
Yeah, and he dies. That movie is hard to remember stuff from because it is just it just glossed over. I do like, it's weird that Nadia is working at like a newspaper when it's established in the show that everyone is racist in the
a huge part of the show is that she's black and that like, oh, there's, you know, even though it's an anime, we're gonna incorporate racism because we're gonna be accurate to the time period, and then they just throw that out. I really
hope that the Nadia movie somehow pulls a CB4 where Nadia is like, I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all.
No, it's just weird because they have so much of that stuff on the Nautilus. They're talking about how like we're working together, we're from different countries, and none of that stuff matters. And then in the movie, they just kind of ignore that racism even exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like the first off-putting thing. I'm like, oh, they're not even like caring about stuff that's in the show. They're just, the characters are here.
And then like the first scene is just like a random guy. And I understand that like you want to open the movie with some mystery, but it's literally just a guy and he like disappears into smoke, right?
I don't remember. It's so hard to. This movie is. I have to watch this multiple times or something because it is so hard to like remember.
I remember us thinking that like this was a script for like a Lupin the Third special that someone didn't get to make, and so they readapted it to be about Nadia.
No, it's there's a lot of Lupin specials that feel like they're like, I'm gonna make my movie, and they didn't get picked up.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who take scripts and then they can't get them made, so they readapt them into Lupin specials.
The funny thing is of like me and Nadia is that I actually think is Ano's most well put together project, but I think Evangelion is still his best work overall, honestly.
Yeah, no, the problem with all the filler stuff in Nadia, that's hard to get through.
What filler? You mean like the island shit?
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
I want to say this.
Islands.
I will actually
there's a second
defend
island,
the
you're like, oh my god, stop with the islands.
And unlike good second islands, it doesn't have dinosaurs on it.
Yeah.
Okay, if it had dinosaurs, it would be the best show ever.
It would.
The thing is, though, I actually won't defend the island episodes for one reason. A lot of people just say that the episodes are filler. They kind of are in the sense that they were just added in to extend the show because it was doing well. Here's the thing, though. By that point, the gargoyle plot was honestly starting to really get it old after a while. So I think having that had happened made for a good change of pace. Now, the after episodes, though, they didn't...
Like, it kind of does immediately after the filler stuff. Because that's honestly where it was going.
Yeah, because I don't want to drop spoilers in the chat, but it like the character death that occurred made it seem like, oh, we're in the end game now.
And then there's 12 episodes of nothing, and then an episode where they sing songs.
There's the Joss Whedon episode.
Yeah, the Joss Whedon sing-song episode. No, they also have, like, there's the scenes early on in the island stuff that feel like they would just be, like, genuine scenes between characters, but they need to make them, like, jokes for some reason. Like, John is eating he eats a bunch of, like, mushrooms or something, and he's high and kisses Nadia, and they make it, like, a joke. And if you just cut those scenes out, they'd just be genuine, nice scenes. Like, it's fucking weird.
Oh, someone's... do you think the Nadia Island episodes will get their own movie? Can
I
we
hope
get
they
Yasu
do.
to
It's
do
just
it
so.
too?
so
Yeah, we need.
I mean,
we need.
if
we
fucking
need
Doan's
Nadia's
Island
to
gets
be
a movie,
made.
so can Nadia's episodes. Just by the way, I had a friend of mine and say something really stupid. Do you guys want to hear it?
Sure.
Just found out that Doan's Island is a sequel to Three Ninjas Kick Back. What the fuck?
You tweeted that at me, I think.
I don't think so, honestly.
Someone asked thoughts on Yatterman Nights. I like Yatterman Nights. My only issue is that I wish the Duranjo girl was not a little child. I think they did that as like a pandering thing, which because I honestly I watched Yatterman Nights on Funimation's YouTube channel. I'm serious.
I'm gonna interrupt you, John, but some guy said best part of Nadia is that there's a groomer in the cast.
Yeah, I know. Fucking Sanson.
Yeah.
Sanson was like, oh, my favorite character, and then last minute, I'm a groomer. Oh no! Oh fuck!
Yeah,
That's a really common thing with a lot of Ano stuff. Like Gendo's more or less a groomer to Rei.
Yeah.
that's true.
I feel like the groomer part of Sanson shows up at the end, and you remember, oh, this is like the year 1900. Oh no!
Yeah, because I think because what's her name, Marie, right?
Yeah, Marie.
Where she's like, what would she have been like 15 after the time skip?
She would have been like 16 after the time skip. Yeah.
Okay.
She's a little child. And
Hey,
you're
John,
like,
what
oh,
do you-
he
have
did.
you
He did
seen,
meet her when she was like
what's-
4, though.
Yeah.
Hey, John, speaking of Yatterman, have you ever seen Takashi Miike's Yatterman movie?
No, it looked really cool though.
Yeah, it actually looks like a really, really faithful adaptation of the anime. Funny thing is, though, I used to like know one guy who said a lot of really stupid shit, which will get into for a few minutes. He basically like watched the Yatterman movie because he was a fan of Miike, and he had no idea what to make of it. I'm like, did you know anything about this? He said, no. Well, that's on you.
Yeah.
What's funny is that the same guy like fucking like had some really insane tokusatsu takes because he didn't even watch them. Like for one thing, he said like the fucking Power Rangers movie, unironically, like the '95 one, is problematic because as the main villain like gives like kids like bodily fluids and sells them or something. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
He kind of overthought Ivan Ooze, which
Yeah.
happens to
Happens
the
There's
the
best
also
of
like
us.
another one
Yeah.
like that was really insane that he said like I love how like how like these hero shows have like these bright over the top costumes set in like urban and in gray areas. So I'm like, that's like every fucking show of this type, dude. Wouldn't make it feel grounded, dude.
Yeah, no, someone
And
was
what's
talking
interesting is
about
that he had fucking like Ryuki as one of his examples. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, no. Someone was talking about how they didn't find Nadia annoying until the island episodes. Everyone gets annoying in the island episodes for some reason.
I didn't find
Everyone
them annoying.
takes like 5 steps back in the Nadia island episodes in terms of character all of a sudden.
Yeah, and
I mean, if Nadia's
what I wanted to say
annoying,
about
it's just that
Yatterman
Otto
Nights before
better than most
is,
other people. I'm kidding.
when I watched Yatterman Nights, I watched it on Funimation's YouTube channel, and so I was checking through the comments because there's a lot of references and homages to old Tatsunoko shows, and I wanted to see in the comments if anyone was picking up on them, and literally all the comments were XD, who clicked on this because of the lolly? And I was like, God damn it.
But it worked.
I guess it did, but
Yeah.
like aside from like, I wish that they had gone with like an older like sexy Duranjo, but like you can even have her just be like a.
Duranjo is a
see-
great
I was gonna have
ass.
her make her like 16 or something. Like she's just discovering and like making her a little kid just doesn't make it fun. But like
She's just discovering. Interesting. Luke Besson homage did there.
yeah, I know, but no, like I didn't like that she was a child because I feel like it didn't make sense for her. Like the plot of her wanting to find who she really is doesn't make sense when you're 8. You can make it work for a child. It more so works with like someone who's like older or college age. I mean, like young adult.
Yeah.
Which I feel like that would have been perfect. And then other than that, I really like the story. I like how meta it is. I like all the subversions in the story. And then it has like all those homages to like Casherin and stuff, which are really cool. And the Mach 5 shows up. That's like the one reference I saw people get.
Was there anything from Soul Taker though?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Soul
It
Taker
seemed
was like
fine
one
from
of the
the
good
episodes. It just
Tatsunoko
feels like
shows,
the
by
art
the way.
was just to be modern.
The art was really pandering, is
Yeah.
how I felt.
There's a lot of stuff that's like that. There's this video game I like a lot called Xenoblade 2, and that is that game. It is written like Xenogears, but looks like modern anime. And so it's hard to recommend to people because I'm like, no, it's like the old thing, but it just
I still need to get
new.
around to Xenoblade, being someone who loves Gears and Saga a lot.
Yeah, I'm a big Xeno head.
I'm a true xenophobe.
I'm a xenophobe.
You need, but here's the thing though. In order to complete the Xeno experience, you need to watch the most significant midpoint between Saga and Xenosaga and Xenoblade. Idolmaster Xenoglossia.
I'm a perfect.
Which, by the way, that is an unironically pretty good mech show. It just so happens to be associated with Idolmaster for some fucking reason.
Because it's Sunrise does, or like, and that's Namco that does Idolmaster. Well, you can't shit on Idolmaster. They did the Hamburger song, and that's one of the greatest achievements of mankind. So.
That's true.
John is the hamburger song.
Yeah, just for the Hamburger song alone, it deserves to exist.
Everyone is British in the Xenoblade.
I like that he censored British.
I mean, Xenogears. What is it? Brian Tachi is.
Oh, one guy asked, "What did you guys think of Time Bokon 24?" I've actually seen a bit of Time Bokon 24 when it was airing, and it was pretty fun, honestly. Like, the fact they got like level 5 to like co-produce it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
It was pretty good from what I watched of it. I kind of wished I kind of kept with it, honestly.
I liked it a lot. My only issue I had was that the version on Crunchyroll is they had to make some changes because there's a couple instances of licensed music appearing in the original.
And they said the N-word.
Yeah, and they said the N. There's that episode that's just them shouting the N-word nonstop. No, that's a joke. But there is like a John Lennon song in the Christmas episode that they had to take out, and then there's like I think there's an episode where they used like a song from Kinnikuman, Man, and they couldn't use that in the Crunchyroll version.
They got rid of the John Lennon song because they just remembered, oh yeah, he's a beater.
Yeah, it was a completely political decision.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
Time Bokon was always political, just like how
Time Bokon was always political. That's gonna be my hashtag.
Teletubbies was always political.
It made me mad when there was like a big push where it was like Tokusatsu was always political, and it made me mad because it wasn't people arguing for like the themes of a Tokusatsu. It was literally because someone was editing memes of like the Power Rangers subtitles to say like Black Lives Matter and other like political stuff, and someone was like, "This is kind of stupid."
Lives Matter.
Someone was editing Sentai subs to make the Power Rangers say like political things, and someone said this is stupid, and someone was like, you know that Tokusatsu is always political. It's like, but this isn't Sentai being political. This is you editing the subtitles to have him say something political. And then it became and then people just totally took it out of context, like
Here's
Twitter
the politics of Jetman. Women. Credits roll.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels weird to edit subtitles when you can probably find something that speaks for itself if you really liked a thing.
What do you think of Casher & Sins? I love Casher & Sins. I think Casher & Sins is great. I think it's disappointing that Tatsunoko weren't the ones who made it themselves. Like they had
wasn't like Madhouse.
It was made by Madhouse.
Yeah. What's really funny is that I think I know more people that seen Casher & Sins but haven't seen the original, which I think is a bit insane because that anime is way better if you've seen the original.
It is because I love because it takes your expectation and turns it on its side, and if you haven't seen the original, there's no expectation. But Casher & Sins aired on Adult Swim, and I know a ton of people who watched it just because it was on Adult Swim.
Yeah. Also, one thing that's really cool about like every Kashan anime is that Kenji Utsumi was always played Bright King Boss.
Yeah, no, he's great because I think he's the guy that played Rao, right?
Yeah, of course, and also Nosferatu Zod from Berserk.
Someone keeps
one thing I also
will
say about like Kashan Sins.
Someone keeps asking about Morbius. I think I'm the only one who watched it.
Chad watched Morbius.
It's very forgettable, and it feels like you're watching like a third of a movie.
Here's what I think of Morbius. Blade was better because
when I was watching the
taxes.
movie with people, I was like, why don't you just like? This is like the only other vampire guy. He needs like some sort of enemy. Spider-Man. All these like weird Sony spin-off movies feel like it's like weird to have these characters all by themselves without Spider-Man or someone else being there. Milo, my favorite Marvel character.
Who's Milo?
With lines like
his character's name is Milo, and he's the villain. Spoilers. It's actually not much of a spoiler because there's like 3 characters in the movie, and you have to just assume one of them is going to be the villain like halfway through the movie.
Yeah, I just want to say with lines like "It's Morbin time" and "Wait, Patrick, you're the American Psycho." Jared Leto has an unfortunate case of being a soci of lines he never said. Okay, finally, we got a real one here. The politics of tattooed teenager alien fighters from Beverly Hills.
Milo from Atlanta. Oh, that's where they got the character from?
Yeah, he's from Atlantis.
Yeah.
Did you know that
God, that actually
Nadia
fucking
Secret
reminds
of the Blue
me.
Water is a
God,
complete
do you guys,
ripoff of
you know what's one of the
Atlantis?
funniest fucking things ever that I just remembered?
Captain Nemo is there. That's 20,000 Leagues, never mind. It's Atlantis, right? Now I feel like an idiot for saying that.
Yeah,
I didn't read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm not a
That reminds me of like the funniest fucking
You're
thing
not a true
ever.
Vern head.
Like
Yeah, I'm
how
not a
like
Vern head.
there's a fucking Wikipedia section about how like Atlantis ripped off Nadia, which I find fucking hilarious. The reason I say that is because do you really think Nadia was really that super well known in the West?
It had a streamlined dub. Carl Masick brought it over. They could have walked into a video store and stumbled upon it.
I mean, after all those watching TNG and seeing a bunch of Dirty Parent Urusei Yatsura references all over the place, I imagine there's people who were watching anime at the time. Especially animators and like production people were into anime, so like they just weren't.
Finally, someone's like asking the politics of Captain Power. How about the politics of fucking Captain Planet, though?
I mean, there is politics in Captain Planet, though.
Captain Planet has some controversial politics, I'll say that.
Yeah.
For one thing, the power is yours!
I love the episode where he talks about how some countries recommend only having 2 kids.
That is an episode. I've seen it.
Do you ever think about the AIDS episode in Captain Planet?
Do you ever think about how Ted Turner has 5 kids?
Oh, what?
How Ted Turner made Captain Planet, and he's like, "Oh, you should only have 2 kids." And
the politics of TMNT, the next mutation.
I don't know if he personally wrote that episode, John. Ted's in there. Make sure you say to only have 2 kids.
I'm noticing like one guy is like saying, I guess he's asking me about like how's Muramasa. The thing is, though, I don't know what Muramasa this guy's talking about. I guess he's talking about the visual novel.
He's talking about the visual novel because you're posting about it on Twitter.
Yeah, but I kind of like stopped playing that. Not because I didn't like it. I actually did. It felt like Jinro and shit. But I was just not right at all in the mood. It's fucking dark.
Someone said, can you do making of Mospeada? I actually thought about doing that because I wanted to know what was going on. My issue is that the production on Mospeada was very quick, and it's not as interesting as you might think. It was really just a matter of was it? I think it was Shinji Aramaki wanted to do a show with transforming robots, and then the studio just kept saying, "That's cool, but make it more like Macross." And they kept adding.
There was a lot of shows like in the early 80s that basically wanted some of that Macross pie.
Oh, for sure.
Mospeada is definitely one of them. One show I find to be the most interesting one is a show called Dorvac.
Oh yeah, no, Dorvac's coming out soon. Well, Dorvac was Takatoku because
Dorvac is so fucking good. There's a scene where like the main character is punching pigs in the. That's a real.
Oh no, you're cutting out.
He said there was a scene where the main character is punching pigs in the face, and I also want to point out that Apollo Geist has joined the chat.
Apollo Geist?
Executive member of the Government of Darkness.
Who's Apollo Geist?
Yes,
I have a figure of Apollo Geist.
Besides the goat villain of Kamen Rider X, supposedly.
The reason it's called Genesis Climber Mospeada is because it can climb on a Sega Genesis. True facts.
Remember, Genesis does what Nintendo don't.
No, Sega does what Nintendo don't. Isn't it?
Yeah, that actually like fucking reminds me. Dorvac like is interesting to me because 2 of the mechs actually got adapted into the Transformers timeline, which were to then turn into like Roadbuster and Whirl, and kind of like how like the Valkyrie from Macross got turned into Jetfire.
Go on.
That's it.
Oh. Okay.
No.
I will say this though. One thing I have like had an idea, like I thought of like doing like retrospective series on like various mech series. I mean, I haven't stopped or them yet, for many reasons or another. But what I would like to do, the Japanese Transformer shows, which I think would be really interesting. Because do you see any mech fans really bring up Japanese Transformer shows? Which
I
is
see
kind of
Japanese
redundant,
Beast Wars get brought up a lot. Did it have like a gag dub or something?
Yes, it did. And there's a lot of really famous actors there, like Shigeru Chiba voices Megatron.
That's based.
Yeah. I've also the one in particular I would love to do a video is on Beast Wars 2 and Beast Wars Neo, because that's like the one that's probably like the anime for the longest while I've wanted to watch, and then when I did, it's interesting. I'll just say that. Beast Wars 2 is probably like one of the most interesting mech shows to talk about in its place in history rather than the show itself, I'd say. Because the Beast Wars 2 and Neo were made as filler shows in between seasons 1 and 2 of Beast Wars.
Well, I was going to say with Dwarvac, the thing that's interesting about that is that it was made just because Takatoku was losing money. And so they made a show that had like all their robot toys in it. And then Dwarvac flopped. And Takatoku went under, and then Bandai bought all their licenses, and that's how it got. That's how those two got.
Which is really funny because you mentioned Dorvac. Because same anime that did Dorvac also did Beast Wars 2 and Neo. Production Ashi, who also did the fucking F-Zero anime, which that show is great, by the way.
I'm waiting for that dub to get released. That lost dub.
The 4Kids dub of F-Zero, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think I heard something about that too.
Yeah, people are hoping because like Discotech released Sonic X and a couple of other 4Kids dubs that they'll get F-Zero. They've been doing like Shaman King and Zatch Bell and stuff.
The F-Zero anime is honestly like one of the best video game animes out there. Like it kind of it's really cool if you play the games, but it stands really well. It's also as a really solid show. It does have a budget problem, but that's like a lot of production Ashi shows.
I was
they
gonna
always
say
have
that's
a
the
bit
early
of a budget
2000s
problem.
in general, really.
Yeah, but Ashi's always kind of had production issues regarding their shows, like Dan Cougar for one thing. The first like several episodes of that look great, better than a lot of things anime at the time. But then it goes really jank. But then once they get things that get their budget back, it becomes really fucking Kino again. They're that kind of studio.
Mm.
And Ashi's like done quite a fair amount of stuff. Like I think probably their most famous show, but probably not for the right reasons, is probably Minky Momo, at least nowadays, because they animate.
I know
all
Minky
Minky
Momo dies.
Well, yeah, that's because they were having issues with Bandai.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So they killed Minky Momo.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Minky Momo's little Haman Karn.
Yeah.
Some episodes of Dan Kuga. I've only seen the first episode of Dan Kuga, and the first episode looks great. But I believe you that it goes downhill. I've seen that happen plenty of times.
Yeah,
the animation does take a bit of a hit, but then it gets really good again. Every Ashi show is kind of like that, honestly, but I think it's part of their charm. Like they usually when the stories of their shows start to like really pick up, that's when they put most of their budget into, because they can do that. They don't have this issue with like their OVs and
Well, I am getting exhausted.
Yeah, I could tell we're kind of pausing.
Yeah, I'm starting to get really tired.
Last questions. Put them in.
Send over your last questions. We'll end in 5 minutes because it's 12:25 our time.
Yeah, and we'll just.
So we'll rapid fire answer any questions you send to us. I mentioned that I'm working on a Chemo Fujin video. I'm working on those Kikaider subs. I have a Masked Ninja Akakage video that I'm outlining. I'm waiting. I'm trying to. I want to do an unboxing video, but I'm actually waiting to get a thing in the mail from a sponsor. Because that helps a lot because I'm importing a ton of shit. I actually just bought a book about Inazuman that includes the 2 pages of the book are the original proposal for Inazuman when it was going to be an anime before they made it a tokusatsu. Do you like cheese? I do like cheese.
Cheese is
Morbius
good.
or Southern Cross? Beast Wars 2.
Morbius, probably, because
Morbius is like 120 minutes. It feels like it just blazes by.
Southern Cross is 23 episodes, and I've already seen it twice, and that's too much.
Southern Cross is my dad, John would say.
Any advice on 5-star story? I unfortunately can't give great advice. I've only seen the OVA, and I felt like I was missing something, so I would probably say
I'm a 5-star stories fan, so I can answer this. Read the manga.
Okay.
Oh, really? That's...
Yeah, I watched the anime OVA. Or no, it's not it's a film. It was in theaters. So yeah, I watched the film, and I felt like I was missing something.
There are people who really like to wank off that movie because it looks gorgeous, and I'm like, it's pretty good.
That's why I picked it
the
up,
manga's
because
way
it looks
better.
cool, and then I watched it and I was like, this is weird.
It's not even covering like the best part of that manga too, by the way.
And what about 009? Oh yeah, I started when I was in New York. I scripted my next 009 breakdown. So that's going to be coming too. I signed a contract with a sponsor, so I have to do sponsored videos, and I don't want to put a sponsorship in a Cyborg 009 breakdown, so I'll try to slot that in between these videos that have a sponsorship in them. Yeah, so and like I said, I've been importing more stuff, so I'm importing I just paid the shipping off on the Cyborg 009 complete edition of the book, which is the book that has the production information up to the 2001 anime, so that's going to be cool. Wendy is working on translating a bunch of pages talking about production of the 79 show, so that's going to be cool. It's going to be coming out.
Some guy literally just said Morbius successor to Desco.
Morbius. Favorite anime of the recent years? I really liked Dororo 2017.
Yeah, 5 years ago.
That's recent.
My favorite anime of recent years is Space Jam 2. I'm kidding, I didn't watch it. At the moment, it's kind of weird. Like, I really, the only one I can say that I think has really like stuck out to me as being particularly strong is a show called Kyokai Senki. It's currently airing at Sunrise's new mech show, and I think it's been like shaping up to be like the best original mech anime I've seen in quite a while. It hasn't like been doing too well, which I kind of get why. Because like the first 13 episodes are basically one big flashback until the actual plot starts kicking in. It's been like really interesting where it's been going and shit. But other than that,
someone asked how do you guys learn all this shit, this collective knowledge. Chad, so one thing that I think helps me a lot is that I'm always interested in learning more about the stuff I like, and so is Chad, and so we're both learning and then spitting that information at each other. And so we're constantly vomiting information back and forth at each other.
Yeah, it kind of helps to have a friend that's also interested. I think that's...
Yeah, Chad and I we live together, so we're just constantly talking about this stuff.
Gay.
Oh,
it is pretty gay.
It's pretty gay, yeah.
Talking to you is like such a throwback to the 2000s.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty strange. Also, just like, I think that's probably why bridging stuff came up to begin with, because it's like, I'm back in 2009 again.
Yeah.
When everything was weird on the internet.
Captain Harlock Endless Odyssey. I haven't seen it, but I only recently finished the original Captain Harlock anime, which I thought was really good. I wish they had gone to the Goat Planet.
One guy asked, "What do you think of Ghetto Bark?" My stance on Get a Robo Arc is more or less similar to a guy by the name of Mr. Cheese. He did a video on Get a Arc, and I basically more or less share the same thoughts as he did. But if you didn't watch the video, if you haven't watched, check out his channel. His stuff is really good. And I may or may not be in contact with him. But anyways, Get a Robo Arcs anime is very jank, but there's definitely like soul and effort put into it. And I think it was very respectful to Ishikawa's original manga, and managed to and in a way that felt very very natural. And I had a very good feeling that it would turn out well despite the animation errors, because it's a pretty ugly looking show, like 2D wise. But I knew it would be handled well because I've seen what happened when Jun Kawagoe would handle something like this, because he did because I think John knows exactly what I'm talking about when I bring up the Cyborg 009 anime, where it handles the God's War part of the manga, and how it really ends on, doesn't really like end the story, but ends on a note that feels like a really huge like love letter to Ishinomori. It felt very very respectful. It wasn't quite like that in the Get Arc anime,
does a lot
but
of
the
the
sentiment's still similar.
Ishinomori and Go Nagai stuff. And so he fits to do a Ken Ishikawa. I wasn't as big on Get a Robo Arc. I watched the first 2 episodes and was immediately getting Akira Tsuburaya flashbacks because of the animation, and I was like, I know Mr.
The animation is definitely not great, but but if you stick with it, you will get something quite good, if a bit rough.
Yeah, and I imagine, because I know Mr. Cheese is like a huge Get a Robo fan, so I understand. It's like when I watch Cyborg 009 versus Devilman, there's aspects of it that I get because I know a lot about Ishinomori's work that other people might not get and might not appreciate. So
here's the thing about like that OVA in particular. I wasn't really that familiar with Cyborg 009 at the time when I watched, because at the time I was a Devilman fan because I was a Go Nagai fan. But that OVA generally got me more interested in Cyborg 009 when I first watched it, honestly. I seem to be in the minority in that sense because it didn't work for other people, which I think is kind of insane. The funny thing is, though, that's like still like one of the few good Devilman animes out there, honestly.
Even though they completely butcher Rio as a character. I don't want to stay on that too much. We need to answer the last couple of videos, or last couple of things. I wanted to hang out with Mr. Cheese IRL because he lives in New York, and I visit New York every year to see my family, but he's in Brooklyn and my family's in the Bronx, and so it's like a bit too much distance. But yeah, maybe I'll hang out. I'll do a vlog or something one day with him.
Have you played any Shin Megami Tensei? I have, but John doesn't play that as many video games.
I'm not a gamer.
I'm a gamer. I'm the gamer girl of the house.
I was gonna say I'm not a gamer. I just like the words.
Yeah, he just likes the gamer word.
I've played a couple Megami Tensei games. I like 3. I like what else? Digital Devil Saga. I like Persona 2 and 3. That's kind of it, really. I don't have a really strong opinion on Mega 10, as I'm not really that well versed in as I am with like Xeno or Breath of Fire.
Yeah, I'm a Xeno Final Fantasy guy myself, but I do really like Shin Megami Tensei 3 a lot. I put that up there on JRPGs.
What do you think would be the next Shin blank here in the Shin Japan universe? Oh, I have a simple answer for that. Shin Karate Robo Zaborger. Oh wait.
Oh man, if they did Shin Born Free, that would be awesome.
Shin Redman.
What actually happened to Manga Entertainment? They ran out of money. Manga Entertainment invested, according to Justin Savakis, it's what he told me, is that they put all of their money into promoting the Ghost in the Shell movie, and even though that movie was well received, it did not make the money back, and they just went bankrupt following that. That's why it was after Ghost in the Shell, apparently, that they had to start outsourcing their dubs to Scotland, and that's where you get all those wonky dubs like Mad Bull 34, because they lost so much money from Ghost in the Shell. Apparently,
I don't mean to like break the mood here, but technically Shin Redman is kind of a thing because of that Matt Frank comic, which, by the way, Matt Frank is also kind of a groomer from what I've read about him and from what people have told me about him, which is interesting.
I feel like
I don't even know.
I don't know who that is. Yeah, I know. We should stop talking about. Rumors.
Yeah, you keep bringing them up.
Yeah, you're like,
you keep mentioning. First of all, you also keep bringing up literally Roman Polanski.
Yeah.
Which is.
Yeah, my.
And I get you're a Rush Hour 3 fan.
I know, and the Roman Polanski showed up.
Sorry,
and it really
but
took
I
me out
like
of
Rush
the
Hour
moment.
2 more. Thank you very much.
No, yeah, Rush Hour 2 is better. But.
You need to watch Message from Space Galactic Wars to understand Rush Hour 3 because Hiroyuki.
And then he just.
Yeah, then he just died. Are you going to see the Macross Frontier films in theaters? Probably not. I haven't seen Macross Frontier. I've been.
I might because I've seen the movies. Honestly, though, you can probably watch the movies fine without seeing the show, but don't take that as a word of advice from me. That's just what I think. Macross Frontier itself is okay. I think it tries to kind of do the thing that I think Gundam Seed do by trying to modernize Macross. But the thing is, though, it doesn't really do that well because it just has a bit too many modern. Not to say their inclusion is bad, just not really handleable, and they get in the way of what actually supposed to matter, which feels like a very weak show. There's good things in it, like the mech CGI is really good. I like a lot of the designs in it. A lot of it was some of Cowboy's best work. Yokohama's music's good. Some of the songs are nice. It just has a lot of like bullshit that kind of like gets in the way of things. It's kind of just really weird that like there's like an episode where like Cheryl like loses her panties, and that's like the entire focus of an episode.
All right, I think we're ready to wrap it up. The last thing I saw in the chat was regarding Roman Polanski, which is a good way to end the stream.
Yep, I stream about talking about anime.
Is Delta better than Frontier? I've heard it isn't.
Yeah,
I'd say Delta is better than Frontier, honestly.
Okay.
But yeah, our final word of the day: Woody from VR Troopers is not related to Woody Allen. I think we can leave it at that.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I did not expect to talk about any of these things today.
Yeah, we were going to talk about Gundam and then maybe videos I'm working on, but that was interesting. But thank you for coming out, everyone. I hope you're looking forward to. I'm going to be translating more stuff and posting more shit and making more videos. So I'm also going to get that PO box. So send me your pipe bombs.
Oh no! Don't do that.
Don't actually do that because you'll hurt a mailman and not me, even though I'm clearly your target.
Yeah, I'm probably going to make figure reviews or something. I have to wait though for stuff to come in the mail. But I've been watching figure reviews and I have a little thing to say about them. I'm just kidding. No, I wrote a bunch of jokes. It'll be fun. I'll see how it turns out. If nobody likes it, I won't make any more.
Oh yeah, you should plug your channel.
It's Chad Vision. And
what I'm working on at the moment, nothing at the moment really. I'm kind of been busy with other things. I guess I gotta plug my own YouTube channel. It's MD Chaos. I don't have a whole lot that's on there other than like some random stupid shit on there. Some OST uploads as well for good measure.
Yeah, my channel still has stuff on. I don't think I deleted anything on there, so any incriminating things, it's just
Yojimbo Bridge is one for the
Yojimbo Bridge.
Yojimbo Bridge is a classic.
And then there's a bunch of Gundam videos. It's weird that most people know me about Gundam stuff because I feel like I spent so much time on Abridged things, and then like people on Twitter and everywhere else only know me for Gundam stuff. So, and I'm Chad Vision everywhere, but there's an occasional Chad Vision that isn't me, because sometimes I can't get that screen name on stuff like on Twitch. So,
the Guyford 2 dub is also pretty classic too.
And I made that.
You're in high school, right?
Yeah,
because when we met, you already made that.
Yeah.
And we met in high school.
Yeah, all my videos I made where I dubbed stuff, I was like 17, so.
All right. Well, sayonara, everyone. Or as they say in Japan,